We are on the site of the castle.
And it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
Look at that. Absolutely fascinating. That's what you do. You buy these players that cost money and make a difference in it. But we never do that.
Never complains, gets up, gets on it, with a smile on his face.
You just want you to sit in your chair and go, hip hip hooray, to the Western press and the Western narrative. You dare dictate the same old, every single day, without this. If you haven't seen it before, please watch the first series, the first 2 episodes, the second series. Stallone. Hi everyone, I'm sorry I'm late. I had a phone call there and I didn't realise the time. I really didn't. I'm so sorry. I apologise for that because I had to take it, you see. I really had to take it. It was important for me. And as I said, I'm sorry. Has everybody recovered from last night? I haven't. I'm being... Red there, please someone get off like the alarm clock. I'm going to bring in Sean here and I'll bring him straight on. I'm sorry about this, people. And there he is.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I was nearly ringing the police to see if you were all right, Frank, after last night.
Do you know what? I had to take a phone call and I didn't realise the time. I was ready and everything to come on.
That's all right.
I came in, put the lights on, you know, this light, and went out because it was about, I don't know, 5 to 8, something like that, because my phone rang, and that was it. Oh,
there you go. I'll forgive you. Thank
you. I was going to say, will that be yourself I'm talking to?
Hey, it's me.
I won't bother. Yeah, look at this. Edward said, Redbeard, he's talking to Redbeard. An Arsenal fan has just been saying that our fixtures have been easier than theirs.
Oh, but of course. Oh.
It started already. It started, unfortunately. And as the Redbeard says, you know, Frank, have we played anyone yet? This is the thing. Yeah. They're all lads, as Edward said, was it Edward? You know, they're coming out with these silly things. We've had an you know, an easier fixture, opening fixture than us. That's
the latest I've heard, Frank, is that we beat a weak Real Madrid. You know, woo. But there you go.
It says, you know, I last night I was talking to our Francine before, not just then, you know, not that phone call, and she said, I couldn't believe what I was watching before. My grandson, her son Ben, he was there. He said the atmosphere was absolutely electric. He said it was fantastic. He said, and when he said one of the biggest cheers was when young Bradley went in for that tackle and took us away from my body. It's just amazing, you know, because he said that lifted everybody. That tackle.
Absolutely.
Just lifted everybody, and we went for it then. And as Redbird says, Sean, are you still buzzing, bro?
I am buzzing off my tits, my man boobs. Absolutely. I'm delighted. Absolutely delighted, Redbird.
And as he says, Edward the Gooners are gone. I think with this match, though, you know, at the weekend, if we can, you know, show the same form, as our Francine said ages ago to me, she said, you know what, Dad, we're only in second gear. Wait till we get in, you know, first gear. We're unstoppable. We'll be unstoppable. And we did last night. It was the best game of the season. I'm not just saying because it was Real Madrid. It was the football. It was the composure. It was everything.
Yeah.
And here's the excuses now. The excuses coming out that they were without key players. I think we were without key players too. I said yesterday, didn't I? Not yesterday, or the last pod. I'd love Jota to be playing in this game. That's what I said. We miss him. We miss the best goalkeeper in the world.
Yeah.
Alisson. You see? Trent wasn't even playing. You know, there's players that were missing.
Yeah. Szoboszlai wasn't playing. Szoboszlai wasn't playing until the second half. I mean, we had Jones.
Yeah.
You know.
I thought Jones was terrific.
Jones was incredible. I mean, that passing between him and Bradley that led up to McAllister's goal, that was not an easy goal. And like I've heard comments from Paul Merson, and I've heard comments from Jason Cundy. I know what I would replace the D with in his name, but he's like, he just hates Liverpool, and for him to be on a national airwave and start spouting that crap without, you know, respect the football that was played that night. Because I'll tell you what, if any other club played like that, I'd be like, fair play, because you respect the football. The football that was played on that pitch there last night was incredible. Doesn't matter who you were playing.
Exactly, and it's not only that, but those same pundit. I was listening to, I forget who it was, because I was pissed off, and he said, "Do you know that chance where I don't know, bubbles about in the first half, bubbles about in the Anfield Road end, and it came out, it just bubbles about. The ball was about that high, you know, over waist high, and Nunes just hit it." But the goalkeeper made himself big. It hit the goalie and went out, you know, somewhere. And this fella said, "Oh, if that was being me, I would have put it low." How could you hit it fucking low? The ball was up here. The ball was up here.
Frank, and I just see Edward has seen. He says, "I saw that video of Cundy. He hates us, and he's absolutely good." I'm glad that guy, you know, pretends to be one of Chelsea's own or one of Spurs' own or whatever, and not one of them claim him, because he was a crap player. He's a crap pundit. He's full of hate, and he can't look at football objectively and call it how it is. And, you know, talk sport, for Christ's sake. I mean, what more do you have to say? So I couldn't really care less what Jason Cundy or Paul Merson says. That was a fantastic game of football, and we played out of our socks. We've done extremely well this season, and I'm not going to have some fucking, sorry, pardon my language, I'm not going to have some dick, either of those two dicks or anyone else ridiculing us, because there's no need to ridicule us. Even when we play bad, we play well.
None whatsoever. I'll tell you, it just came to me, the fella who said, if that would have been me, I would have put it low. It's at low, you know. So if he'd have tried to hit it low, Darwin would have kicked, certainly, you know, Kutwa in the chest. He would have done. And he
Plus,
just
you're up against a very good goalkeeper, Frank.
yeah, but I'll tell you who it was. It was that Mark Goldridge, is it? I was looking at him and I just thought, oh, fuck off.
Well, now, with the greatest of respect to Mark Goldridge, he's probably one of one of those out there that actually says it how it is. I'm a bit disappointed with that comment. I didn't know he made that.
He said that.
Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed at that.
I was watching his little, today, like, I was watching his little pod, because they're only on for a few minutes, you know what I mean? And it was a watch along. Oh, Liverpool have scored.
Yeah,
Liverpool have scored.
He was good at. He was doing a Martin Tyler on the whole thing. But yeah, Cundy is a horrible excuse of a human being.
And as Edward says, that's the best we've been under Sloot. It is, because
Don't mention Coot.
I know
that was a frightening slip there.
Denying everything. I was reading about him, not reading about him, just seeing like I refute anything that's coming at me. So, what he's supposed to have done and whatever. He shouldn't play. He shouldn't referee again.
No,
ever.
He can refute what he likes or dispute what he likes. Like the footage is out there. Not much you can really say about it, to be honest with you. I don't know what else is out there because I've just tuned out.
Darryl, listen to me. Don't put any scores up, please. Just do not put any scores up, please. It distracts the whole conversation. All right.
Happy birthday, Carl Scott. Oh yeah, Frank's or George's wife. It's her birthday today.
There's a happy birthday, Carol. He'd be out today, won't he? He'd be out. Edward says, beat the German and Spanish champions.
Exactly. Exactly.
But we get no credit. The only credit we're getting is off us, the chat here. That's the only credit we're getting, and we're Liverpool supporters.
But look, with the greatest...
that lad last night, that James Hawkins is, from Belfast, the Man United supporter.
Yes.
And he just came on and he said, congratulations, I've just come on to say, brilliant game, well done, murdered them, whatever, and that was it. So the likes of him, that lad.
He's a credit, he is, an absolute credit. He's old school. He knows, football banter, and he knows about, keeping it respectful. So fair play to him.
And as Callum says, young Callum, now let's beat the English champions. Might as well.
Yeah, why not?
I'm just made up, you know what I mean? I don't know, Darryl says about Konate, news sounds positive. Well, that's good, because I haven't a clue what's going on with these injuries.
I heard a few reports, and I'm not too sure what is true and what isn't. I heard that it's a possible ACL for Konate. Now, again, don't shoot the messenger. I just heard that Konate is possibly out for 2 to 6 weeks. That's what I heard. Not too sure if that's true or not. I sincerely hope it isn't.
And that was the last few seconds of the game.
Yeah.
That little fella, that little prick,
I didn't even see what happened
before he came on, and he was going around kicking people.
Yeah, I didn't even see what happened. I was too overcome.
Yeah, I watched the highlights today. The full match.
Yeah,
I watched the full match.
All right, Paul, we're doing fine. I'm doing fine anyway. Frank, are you doing fine?
Yeah, yeah,
That's,
I think.
yeah.
I tell you, well, as Darryl says, Canate is fine, Sean.
I'm delighted with that. I'm delighted with that. Will he make the City game though?
Yeah. False, I sure hope you both do. Yes. One's a Bradley. One's a Bradley. One's a boy Bradley, injury pro. Got injured last season as well.
Well, I'll tell you something else. The one thing he didn't injure is his pride. He was amazing, just amazing. Couldn't be
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
Could not be happy.
Canate says Darryl, he's out for a week only. But that's way too long for me. I wanted him against City.
You're just going to have to play either Kwanzaa or Gomez. That's who you have to play the seventh.
He says, Callum says, Canate is fine, lads. If he wasn't, sure. Right back, Frank. Centre back, sorted.
What about me? Am I left back in the dressing room?
Yeah, but as Darryl says, Gomez and Virgil, I'm happy with that. So am I. So I'm sorry to say this, but does anyone trust young Kwanzaa? Because I think I really believe that his confidence is shattered, to be honest, especially when he was taken off against Ipswich.
Yeah.
And then, when he was put in, who was it against? Was it against Bournemouth, Brentford, someone like that anyway? And Brighton it was, away. And those 2 goals, he contributed to the 2 goals, didn't he?
It's so difficult. I mean, for a young lad his age, when they get a knockback, and then social media being the cesspit that it is, I have every faith in Kwanzaa, but I know that he's prone to mistakes. I
think it was proved. I say, City, they'll be chomping at the bit for us. Like every other club in the league, they'll be
of course
chomping.
They will.
And what they'll be saying is, if Nottingham Forest can beat them, so can we. That's what they'll be saying. Was it not? Yeah, it was Forest, wasn't
it? It was Forest, yeah.
So there, this is the type that you have, unfortunately. But myself personally, I want our best 11. Like I wanted our best 11 last night. Remember when someone said, I think it was a young lad, let's play all our kids.
Yeah.
Remember that? No, you don't play kids against Real Madrid, and also you don't play kids against Manchester City. You have your finest 11 out. That's what you're about. And Edward says, I think Gomez will come in for Canate. Yeah,
I think that's a good option.
Yeah, Trent will be back as well, as Darryl says. Trent's back, so Trent, Bird, Gomez, Robbo sorted. That's it. That is sorted, Darryl. And can't take City for granted, but play like we did last night, and I think we'll beat them. Yeah, there's no problem with that. We will beat them, no question. We will beat them. We will. I'm sure of it. Liverpool, they're on a roll. Liverpool are on a roll. And, to stop that roll, something drastically has to happen. Something drastically. I think McAllister, I think Sir Bosley will come in along the line somewhere. I mean to start, whoever he takes the place on. Say it's McAllister. I think he'll, and then McAllister. I think he's rotating the midfield, to be honest. What do you think? Do you think he's rotating the midfield?
He is and he isn't. I mean, do you know what? I'd be inclined to play Jones. I think Jones has really kind of he's come back with a sting in his tail, a real sting in his tail, and the passing last night between him and Bradley, it was phenomenal, and it was fantastic to see him, Bradley, and McAllister. And I can't even get my head around that goal. The passing, it was.
Well,
sorry, yeah.
He played great.
Yeah.
He played great, Sergeant Curtis. I'm made up for the lads. I really am. You know, remember there people were wanting them to be gone for 2 seasons.
I'd get him a contract. That's what I'd be doing.
22-23, we beat City 1-0 and worst season. Don't rule out City. Never. They are actually better than Madrid right now. No one's underrating City, mate. Honestly, no one is underrating them at all, albeit that they're having a bad season to their standards. And the Redbirds, it's beginning to look like slutness in every game we play. Did you like that?
That was beautiful. That brought a tear to my eye, that did. Get me shivers, that did. Absolutely. I mean, Frank is a man of many talents. And now we've just discovered that he's a crooner. Like, he serenades us. Serenades us
to sleep.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I can just see it. Christmas Carols by Frank Carlyle.
I'll show. Do you want to see something?
Oh, don't tell me you have an album, have you?
What?
Have you released an album?
Show you.
Oh my God. He's done it. He has an album. Frank, is that you singing?
Well, stop fucking Atarasti, is it?
Oh, for God's sake. I'll be looking for a copy of that now, so I will when I get over to you. There you
can
go.
have it when you come over.
Yeah. Amazing.
You can have it.
Darrell, I'd be inclined to agree with you. Jones is irreplaceable, must start. I would have him on.
Yeah, but I've noticed that he is rotating with the players. I've noticed that because he plays Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, McAllister, then Jones, McAllister, Gravenberch. He's not dropping Gravenberch, if you notice, but he's just those 3.
Yeah.
Szoboszlai, McAllister, and Curtis.
It's a great situation for us to be in, especially on the left wing, where we have Diaz or Gapco. And Gapco can come on whether it's 10, 20 minutes left and score a goal. Like, it's fantastic. He's really come into his own now, I think.
Yes. Callum says, can't drop Maka. He opens up Madrid alone. I think all our midfield, you can't take away Curtis. He opened them up as well.
Frank, the passing. Like it's like it. Oh man, it was just beautiful, crisp, one touch, twist and turn their players inside out. These are all fucking 100 million Ballon d'Or winners. so-called
Yeah.
Ballon d'Or winners,
Yeah.
you know, big price tags on them, and they were getting turned inside out by a Northern Irishman and Jones and McAllister. You know, it was beautiful. Oh, it was beautiful.
It was. I took my knee in, didn't I?
You what?
I took my knee in.
You did your knee in. That's why I was gonna. I was asking. I didn't want to kind of harp on about it in case you give out to me. But I said, "Are you all right?" Do you remember
Oh,
what
I see
Daryl
what you
said?
mean. Mhm.
So I was kind of hinting. Are you okay? Have we sorted?
No,
Is your
can't
injury
walk.
still there?
Can't
Frank,
walk.
did you go to the doctor? You didn't go to the doctor, did you?
No, I thought that, I'll just give it a few days. When I phoned Francie and I said, I can't walk. You know what she said to me? Not like that, I'll be down now. Nothing like that. She was taking Sophia, my granddaughter, to see
Yeah.
Vicky tonight. And she went, what do you want me to do? I said, no.
Down there and help him.
What do you want me to do? I think Gakpo will come in for Lucio says, I don't know. I just don't know about that. I thought Lucio played very well. And Callum says, Kelleher, Trent, Canate, Van Dijk, Robbo, Gravenberch, Mackett, Szoboszlai, Diaz, Gakpo, Salah versus City for me. That's a good side, though.
Yeah.
The lads would say Frank Sinatra.
Although Canate's not going to be fit.
No.
So that kind of throws a big spanner in the works there, Callum.
Yeah, he must have thought that, with Daryl saying that he's all right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Jones is irreplaceable, says Callum, but we have Newcastle on Wednesday and a cold run at St. James's Park. Yeah. Yeah.
I'd agree
Keller,
with
Gomez, Virgil, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, Jones, Gakpo, Nunes, Salah. What did you think of the penalty miss?
It was very unusual. Do you know what scared the living bejesus out of me? I genuinely thought I was losing my marbles when I looked in the stand and I saw Salah's misses, and then I'm seeing it's like, is that Salah in the crowd as well? And it was his brother, Mo Salah's brother.
Yeah.
It was the spitting image of him. But it was a peculiar penalty. I very, very peculiar penalty.
The outside of his boot, didn't he? He hit it with the outside of his boot. And he just put the other fella well and truly, Courtois the other way. It was unlucky,
It was unlucky. It wasn't a million miles away, but 9 times out of 10 he buries them. Of course, people are going to read into that and think, oh, it must have been over the contract or whatever. But I must say, Frank, before I forget, what's her name? Kate Abdo and Michael Richards and Carragher were asking questions of Robertson, and they were asking who was the favourite pundit on that show, and Robertson said, well, Carragher is probably not the favourite this week over the comments that he made about Salah. So I was delighted to hear Robertson actually say that. Delighted. Because a lot of people pissing Carragher's ass about his comments about Salah and his contract, when 14 years ago Carragher was talking about his own contract on TV. So a bit hypocritical.
Yeah, they forget all these little things, don't they?
Absolutely.
They forget all these little foibles, and it comes back to haunt them, like what Robertson said last night. But you know that's a stupid question to ask a footballer. Who's your favourite pundit?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
You know, fuck you. As I just said, oh fuck off. Ask me another. I'm being honest there.
Oh yeah, no, I know it's ridiculous.
Martin says Sean got a big head.
Martin.
Callum says, Darryl, there's a series rules out. Can't find anything about it. That's Conete. Lads, you've seen Rodri is trying to come back for the ACL quick. What a numpty. Do you know, I was getting mixed up with that Rodri, what's his name? No, that big centre half last night. Ferreira. Rodrigo.
Rodriguez.
No, it's not. It sounds like Rodri. Rudiger. Rudiger.
Oh, Rudiger. Rudiger. Yeah.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking of, you know.
Yeah.
When I was mentioning Rodri, if you know, or someone mentioned Rodri, that's what I was thinking of. Anyway, Slot says he wants to be ready for Sunday, but Newcastle should be fine. Slot says he won't be ready for Sunday, but for Newcastle should be fine.
Salute.
Darryl, I can't find quotes anyway, that's why. Anyway, come on. Right, Callum says, did you know Milicio, Brazilian centre-back, he got ACL, rushed himself back this season and got another again. Are you interested in that? I'm not interested in that, Cal. Honestly, mate. All I'm interested in is our boys, like you. You know, you're interested in our lads.
They're interested in my big head. What's going on? Why is everyone talking about?
Everywhere I go. She has a face I can't forget.
I've got a head that people can't forget, apparently.
For little girls grow bigger every day. Can't be singing them anymore. I'll be locked up.
Oh, sure. You'd be cancelled, Frank. You'd be cancelled. I do have a gigantic head. I mean, they thought my mother was having twins, you know, and I just came out. I'm actually 4'1", but with the size of my head, I'm 5'10". So that's just it. I'll even go so far as saying this. This is a true story, right? True story. I was working on the other side of the. So I was living out in Wicklow, and I was working in Dublin, and it was about a 2-hour commute to get from work, and a 2-hour commute to get home, right? Because I had to get 2 buses. And then 2 buses back. Now, one particular week, the Queen arrived in Ireland, and so did Obama. And public transport was all over the place. So I had a taxi driver friend, and I rang him up, and funny enough, his name was Colm. I says, Colm, I'm stuck here. I need to get home. There's no buses. I can't get a taxi. Can you help me? He says, oh, yeah, Sean, no bother. But he says, I don't have the taxi with me. I have the bike. Okay, yeah, all right. So he says, I'll go on my bike and I'll collect you. So he arrives on this little second scooter, right? And I'm like, oh shit. I don't know what I'm gonna do here. So we're a solid 5 minutes. He had a spare helmet. We spent a solid 5 minutes trying to get a helmet that fits me, right? So he tries the spare helmet that he has. It won't fit me. It's to here. So literally where my eyes should be, they're here, right? And the end of the helmet is resting here, right? So he's like, for God's sake, Sean, like, why in the Lord Jesus would you? So he then tries his helmet, right? And it's to here, nearly breaking my nose to here. And he's like, Sean, that's going to have to work. I said, that's not going to work. I said, that's going to fall off me. I'm going to fall off the bloody bike. So he takes the whole padding off the helmet, inside the helmet, right? And we eventually get to about here. So the edge of the helmet's like this, and there's just my chin hanging out of it, right? So, and I'm like, I could barely see or whatever. So he says, now, so we eventually get the helmet on. He says, now, Sean, have you ever been on a bike before? I says, yeah, years and years and years ago, right? So technically, that was a bit of a lie. I just wanted to get bloody home. I didn't know that when he moves, I move, right? So if he leans right, I have to lean right. So we're going up to the to this roundabout, and he leans left, and I don't lean at all. And he's like jamming like this. Jesus Christ, Sean. So he eventually he tells me how to go about it, right? We go down a motorway, and I'm literally holding on for dear life, right? Making a long story short, we eventually get to the place I'm living in, right? And
well, you're making a short story long. Go on.
So we eventually drive into the driveway. There's a bit of a dip, right? And he says he parks the bike or whatever, and I'm still on the bike. And he says, "Right, Sean, you can get off now." I says, "Colin, I actually can't." He had to prise my hands open to get me off the bike, right? An hour later, I order a takeaway, and this lovely girl with a takeaway, oh, she looked gorgeous, and she, like, I was like this, taking from the bike, and that was the last time I've ever been on the bike.
It's mad, isn't it? I had some my Uncle Tony's once, on his motorbike. I was going to babysit for him. It's only a kid.
Yeah.
Okay, now never again. I've never gone on a motorbike.
Frank, I thought I was going to die.
I got a lift out in a Lamborghini, I was standing outside this pub. It was in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for someone. And I was looking at this Lamborghini. This is in the city centre, Brunswick. And I'm standing there looking at it going, fucking hell. And this fella comes and he goes, oh, yeah. I went, and he said, what do you think? And I went, unbelievable, isn't it? And he went, he knew who I was. I never had a clue. And he said, would you like to get in it? I said, yeah. He said, yeah, it's mine. So anyway, he got in. Could I get out? And I was like you. It was just like zooming down. Funny enough, where I live right now, it passed this house where I live now. Past my house where I live now, not knowing that, one day I'll be living there. And he didn't see me. When he went and he just picked up speed, the way when you're in a plane and your back goes back like that. That's what I was like. And I got 3 people had to get me out. I couldn't get out.
Yeah.
They had to help me in. And my mates who I was waiting for, they helped me in the front. And they had to get me out. And I guess who's in the wings? Should we bring him in, or he's a good suck, isn't he? I
think we should.
Yeah, bring him in. Hey, I wonder what he's like.
Don't worry, Frank, I'm still sober.
Was that after listening to my story, George?
Yeah, We've just been celebrating my other half's birthday, so we've had a lovely day, So I've just got in, so I thought I'll jump on. I said I might jump on for the last hour or so. So I
Yeah,
hope
you did.
it's nice
You
to see you.
did. Mate. What was okay, George? Last night.
I was so proud of the boys. I really was. It was a phenomenal performance from start to finish, right through the team. They were absolutely unbelievable. It was a joy to watch. I think for everybody. Young Bradley was just on another planet. I mean, that tackle, it lifted the whole stadium, didn't it? And I think it was just fun. And also Curtis Jones, Nunez, all of them. I mean, everyone. I couldn't fault any of them. I know Robbo gave away a penalty, but he redeemed himself with a lovely cross for Gakpo's goal. Just a great game, great performance, and a great statement win.
Yeah,
beat the champions of Europe and the greatest club side in the world. I mean, you've got to say that on the record. To bring him home to Anfield, and the crowd were amazing. I thought the atmosphere was absolutely combustible. And again, it will be on Sunday. I'm sure it'll be even better on Sunday. I think, to be honest, they'll be right up for it. And I can't even begin to imagine what it would be like if we beat them on Sunday. 11 points clear plus goal difference. That's going to take some stopping. So come on, boys.
It's incredible.
Run like the devil for 90 minutes, and just chase everything, close down. Even draw won't be a killer,
No, not at all. Because in my opinion, Man City have to beat us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anfield, 5 points to get it down to 5 points.
Yeah, and we need the luck. We need a bit of luck.
Under a lot of pressure.
I mean, it's a classic. It's a classic, Frank, isn't it? You've got the team that's been beaten 5 times and drawn one. They're on the back. It's like the drunken champion fighter on the ropes, And the challenge is coming up, and he's fighting for survival. But we are fighting for the Premier League, and that's a bigger prize.
Did you ever think, guys? Sorry, Frank, if you don't mind me asking this question, because I'm interested in both of you replying this. Did you ever think, like, at the start of the season, that this would turn out the way it did?
No. I don't think anybody did that. We didn't on the pod even at the beginning. I remember I hadn't really heard of Arnie Slot. I have to be honest. Yeah. He was a new name to me. Obviously, the club had done the homework there because he's turned out to be a gem so far. At the end of the day, I love his style. I love the way he talks to the media. He got a nice, relaxed smile on his face. He doesn't seem to get flustered. And obviously, success breeds success. And as long as they keep winning, it's my and look at the way he's turned around a few players like Gravenberch. We were looking at Gravenberch last season. I know he hadn't had a pre-season, and he didn't look like the player he is now.
No, certainly not.
Curtis Jones, up and down, didn't quite. And now he's looking like a world beater.
Absolutely.
And so he's got some. He must have a lot of influence on the training field. He must be doing something that they've bought into. The team have bought into in the whole squad. They look a happy squad.
Yeah, remember the opening day against Ipswich, and we were there in the post-match, and I even said for the first half he wasn't used to the system. Second half we came out, and then we started to play against Florida's system, and it's been an ongoing thing ever since.
Yeah.
And I just mentioned, George, what Francine, my daughter, said weeks ago. She said, Dad, we're only playing in second gear. We'll be unstoppable when we hit first gear.
Yeah, we did that the other night, yeah.
Last night, you've only got to... And the Redbird says, George, what a time to be a Red.
Oh, yeah, what a time to be. It's always a great time to be a Red, but especially at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
And the IBR says, it feels like the fan base are beginning to believe in Slot.
Yeah, well, you've got to, haven't you, the way he's performed at the moment.
And young Callum says, I had belief in Sloot from minute one. Love the ball, Zed.
So do I.
I said from the minute I heard him, speak, he reminded me of a Dutch version of Rafa Benitez. he's the same sort of mannerisms and, nice and pleasant and and also it was fantastic to see Rafa also on Anfield there last night as well.
Yes. Well, I thought Slot played it beautifully when he came in. He didn't jump too hard. He didn't, go against anything Jurgen had done publicly. And, he took his time. He didn't get too excited, pumping the fist of the crowd. And he waited until now he's beginning to show a bit more emotion. I noticed he walks towards the cop now and gives him a wave and, and they shout his name and they're cheering for him. So that's really good.
That's great. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. As Jay says, my two men of the match were Kelleher, Bradley, Virgil, Canate, Robbo, Jones, Graham, Salah, Nunes, McAllister, and Cole.
There wasn't a weak link, not one weak link in that team.
There really wasn't. And I mean, I think that's the Sloot effect as well. I mean, I think Salah's a second wind in him. I think Jones as well. Bradley, certainly has excelled, and he looks like a world beater. I mean, he literally had Kylian Mbappe in his pocket.
He did.
Kylian Mbappe hadn't a chance. And Robertson had a fantastic game last night as well.
Yeah.
He really did. And again, I said to Frank, Nunes was very, very unlucky not to get on the score.
Oh yeah, he was unlucky not to score.
I thought he possibly had the best game in a Liverpool jersey.
Yeah, they were just flying, weren't they? They were flying.
Yeah.
I mean, quick passing, constructive passing, breaking from the back. Even Salah, when he got the penalty, he was up to his tricks again, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Inside, outside, causing a guy looked like a corkscrew.
Well, all they say is Sloot silencing his doubters game by game.
I mean, I suppose we will have a odd dip, We've got to expect the fact there will be the odd little crisis, but, the longer it will last and before that happens, the better.
Well, Darryl actually says Jones for man of the match, sensational.
I wouldn't
disagree. Jones was absolutely brilliant last night.
I picked Bradley. But I mean, I think it was a very.
You could have picked anybody.
You could have picked anybody. Yeah.
What a reception he got when he came off.
Yeah.
The whole crowd rose to him. I mean, is he captain of Ireland now? Has he been captain of Ireland? Bradley.
Captain of Northern Ireland. Yeah, he has.
Yeah, Northern Ireland. He was captain and he scored a couple of goals for them. And he's only young. He only came in the team last year.
I'll tell you what, George. I'll be campaigning for a United Ireland football team, because if we get him, we might be getting places. He's a fantastic young lad, fantastic player.
He is. I mean, it's good because if Trent does go, we've got a ready-made replacement there, big time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as Darryl says, that wonderful header from Nunes would have been some goal.
Yeah, stretching, wasn't he?
So unlucky that. I'm sure he got a few tips to that,
He's a great keeper, Coach Bar, isn't he? He's a good keeper.
And it was a very difficult header that he took as well. I mean, the fact that he got, the pace in it.
Yeah.
Oh, pardon me. He got the pace and the direction.
We were unlucky when he had that shot from the angle as well, and the keeper got his hand to it, and it just about went over the line, and he just kicked it off the line. Yeah. I could have bounced to anybody, really. We could have had 3 or 4 goals there. I had more than we got.
Yeah, I think the score line was flattering.
Very flattering, yeah. I mean, when Mbappe got that penalty, I was just guaranteeing to myself he's going to score. He doesn't miss. He usually buries him in the corner. I thought, here we go now. And when he saved it, I love the way he left his back foot on the line when he dived to make sure he wasn't, retaken again.
Yeah, and encroaching.
Brilliant in the penalty saves, isn't he? Keller. Mbappe looked at him. He looked at him and he didn't flinch. He didn't move either way. So he didn't know. So he just took a chance to put it to his left and he saved it. And then, of course, Mo missed the penalty. He was unlucky. He hit it well, but it just...
I'm sure they'll ask you about that. He was unlucky. He was so unlucky. he sent Curtis, well, whatever his bloody name is.
Somebody cracked a joke today about that where I was. He said, when asked more about that, he said it was more out than in.
Well, I didn't want to go into stats or anything like that, but Kelleher, we mentioned Kelleher. I think he's the first Liverpool goalkeeper in history to save consecutive penalties in 2 games. Or sorry, penalties in 2 consecutive games. Sorry, I made a of that. But I mean, he's a fantastic goalkeeper. Really, really fantastic.
I mean, you're in great company there. You got Mbappe, who reputed to be the best player or up in the top 2 in the world. He didn't look like it, of course, at Anfield, but his record speaks for itself. I mean, he was tackled by Bradley. He killed him, and then his penalty was saved by Kelleher. So that's 2 really good efforts from our boys.
Did you guys think that he looked slightly overweight?
He looked out of condition to me. He lost possession in the midfield and almost cost him a goal. That's when Nunes broke through.
That was brilliant by Nunes.
He didn't look sharp to me.
That was absolutely brilliant by Nunes when he took off, didn't he?
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. I loved Nunes last night. I thought he had a wonderful game.
He did. He did, yeah.
Getting there, he was tackling, he was taking the ball away, he was running, he was passing. He was brilliant. He has a hard look as well, especially those efforts he had.
Yeah, they said they had men out injured, but we had men out injured as well. We had Trent and Jota, and Alisson, and Harvey Elliott. That's 4.
Yeah, I said that myself, George, just before. Yeah. And people are going on. They just don't want Liverpool to do well. God knows what they'll be like if we won the bloody thing.
We'll be jumping, and we don't care, do we? We don't care.
We need to be careful of Frank now. Frank doesn't need to be doing any more jumping.
No, he's like a follower.
No more jumping. No more jumping.
Jumping up. God, blimey. Anyway, I was trying to get off the floor last night.
Well, I'm going to the game on Sunday. I've got a ticket for the game Sunday. I'll be in the cup.
Oh, great.
I didn't go last night.
That'll do, mate, George. You'll be there cheering us.
I'll be shouting with my 2 grandsons.
Cheering for us.
3 Musketeers. The 3 Musketeers.
Yeah, absolutely.
2 20-year-olds and 1 80-year-old shouting as one.
Well, look at this. I want to stay with you, George. And it's the IBR. He says, I think losing to Forest has been a blessing in disguise, as Sloot learned so much about his players in that game.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a bit of an unlucky win because we had. I think Diaz hit the post before they scored, if I remember. But yeah, we did lose it, and it was a bad defeat. But you're right. I think it's a good point that he probably did learn a bit about how to take defeat, because it's amazing how we've turned it around since that game.
Daryl says, I agree. George Nunes everywhere last night. I think he's going to bed.
Amazing.
Any thoughts from Seanino and Jorginho about the young links from Barcelona?
Well, when you've got Seanino and Jorginho, who needs anyone else?
Diongo.
De Jong links with the. I've not heard that. No, I've not heard De Jong.
I've not heard that.
I've never heard that myself. I think that it's like when it came out, I seen something that Liverpool are about to sell for $7 billion. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I take most of the media stuff with a pinch of salt until I see it in hardcore.
It's amazing, George, how many people. Sorry, Frank.
No, the Redbird says man of the match was between the 2 Irish lads, Kelleher and Bradley, for me, after rewatching the game. That's the Redbird.
Dispute that.
I just, as I said, I rewatched the game myself, and some of the runs by the lads, some of the pass. Do you know the passing for McAllister's goal?
Amazing.
Oh, that was great.
It was incredible.
It was a great goal.
And that's not brought into the equation by these
Goal of the season.
boxes.
I mean, Bradley almost scored a header in the 6-yard box.
Yeah.
He's a right back. To show you the energy to get into the penalty box and nearly head it in the net. Good save by the keeper. But I think he was brilliant.
Like Chris Lawler days, when he used to just stand.
He used to drift into the box and score.
That was a great set. And any other keeper, except for him, if you know what I mean.
He'd got his goal, yeah. Yeah, that would have been great. What's the news on his injury? Is he going to be fit for Sunday? Have you heard, Bradley?
I'm not too sure.
No one knows.
Well, Slot had a press conference today and he's not ruled him out.
Yeah, well, there's different things about Kanate as well. Some say he might be playing.
That was very late in the game. That was a shame if he's got a...
Well, I don't know. I've mentioned that. Right at the end. There wasn't even minutes to go last few. And that little fella did all that damage to him. A little fella, I forget his name. He had a mad head anyway. So we'll just call him Mad Head. He did that thing. Callum, panel lineup and score prediction for Sunday. Oh yeah, it's the Anfield. We'll do that in a moment, Callum, mate. Good evening, everyone. Says the Anfield.
Evening.
Evening.
Yeah, 2 pints.
Yeah, look. Yeah, let's go to this. Mac looks better further up, so we'll talk about that now. And the Anfield Roar says, if these rumours of De Jong are true, I have reservations. He lacks speed to get around the pitch, but he is a class operator. But I had a feeling our targets would have shifted from Zubamendi. That's a good point. So, what do you think of what Edward says about McAllister up further up, boys?
Well, he's brilliant at these passes. He hit a lovely ball in the first half. He chipped it up to for that header by Nunes. A couple, and also for Bradley's header. So he's got a lovely way of just picking a pass, and he obviously can score goals. So I would agree with that, because you've got Gravenberch playing like the number 6 type role, and you've got Jones moving all over the pitch, and Szoboszlai when he plays.
Yeah, when he came on, he was everywhere. Szoboszlai, wasn't he? What about you, Sean?
I agree. I think McAllister. I think we're always talking about McAllister, moving up forward, and I think when he plays further up, he plays better, in my opinion. The passing there last night. I keep going on about the passing. I love that sort of quick touch and run, and he was fantastic. He was fantastic last night. So yeah, definitely seeing an improvement on him or in him.
He's a world-class player.
Well, that's the Redbird says, about Roar. I'm not sold on De Jong, are you?
No, it doesn't ring a bell for me. No.
Sorry, George.
It doesn't ring a bell for me at all. I mean, these Dutch players, some of them are all right, but Ten Hag, bought a few Dutch players. It didn't work out.
No.
Like Xerxes and the other guys, 3 or 4 of them, and they're a waste of time then. There's 1 or 2 talented Dutch players, obviously, but I think De Jong's not one for me.
Yeah, the Anfield Roar, let's say the frightening white says hello, frightening.
That's the name.
That's it, right. And the Anfield Roar says, I have to say, Frank, George and Sean and others, no, we are a little lightweight in midfield. But let's be real. McAllister, Gravenberch, Jones, Szoboszlai, Elliott, Morton, Batatic, Nioni.
Yeah, plenty there.
I watched that Nioni the other day, the under-21, under-18 against Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Never cut it for me, to be honest. There's a little lad named Carlyle, Mohammed. No, I forget his bloody name.
On the
Well,
wing.
he's a cracking little kid, you know. He's a little cracker. He's really good.
Yeah.
I
Some good players.
don't know who he is anyway. But anyway, he's all right. And Darryl says Balaba or Emerson for me. And it keeps jumping. Raw, the Anfield was back last night. Amazing. Was you well enough? Was you well enough to go? Well, he's up there if he went. He says I was unwell, unfortunately. That's a shame. Yeah. That's a shame. And Callum says Nagum. Why can't they have these names? Why can't they call it George Scott? George Scott.
Some of the guys in the chat are doing more scouting than Liverpool.
So instead of like Quiveen Kelleher, it should be Kevin Kelleher.
Yeah, Kevin Kelleher. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I couldn't even put it. Well, I seen his name, you know, his Christian name. I went,
Kelleher,
yeah.
I can't pronounce the new goalkeeper's name. I can't pronounce the new goalkeeper's name. Kokarakovic or something. I don't know what his name is.
Don't know who that is, but that's
we'll have to shorten that down, won't we?
Mohammedashvili.
Call him Corky. Corky the cat.
Do you remember Corky the cat?
Well, they used to call Lev Yashin the cat, didn't they? So we can have Corky the
cat.
Oh,
yeah. Yes, Lev Yashin. Best goalkeeper in the world, then.
Yeah. God, you have to laugh, don't you?
Because he was dressed all in black, wasn't he?
I mean, you can talk about all these new signings. I'm more concerned with getting these three guys signed up.
Karen says, do you know what? And she's like, hiya, Karen, lovely to see you, honestly. And she says, it's as bad as mine. I couldn't pronounce her name. You know, her and her husband, you know, used to come on and, you know, just history shows and that. And should have said, me and our Jared, when we used to do it together.
Kyriakou. Yeah.
Kyriakou?
Kyriakou.
Yeah, you go,
It's a nice name.
It's a lovely name.
Sounds Greek.
It does sound a little Greek, yeah.
It is Greek.
Is it?
It is, yeah. She's a wonderful Greek lady.
Yeah, lovely.
She did. She was the model for Venus. They were doing a sculpture, you know, about I think 10 years ago, but they wanted her with arms, and she became the model for her.
Karen did. This Karen did.
Yeah, this wonderful sculptor. He was an Italian sculptor, by the way, as well. So he's up there in the museum in Athens.
Fantastic.
Mount Olympus Museum. Mount Olympus Museum, it's called.
It's very nice, Karen. Very well done.
Absolutely. Do you believe that?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, they used me as a model. for bigger bicycle helmets, that's what they used me as.
For muscles, yeah.
You're very good at the jokes, Frank. You just don't know whether you're actually taking the piss or not. You're very hard to read. I like that. I like that.
I was looking at you in George, and you were like,
I was like, who's going to start?
Frank, I believe anything, Frank. You can fool me easily. I believe anything.
Frank is like
whatever everybody tells me, I believe it.
Do you know the funny thing about
if I understand it? I have to understand it.
I was actually going to Google the name. I thought, really? I was like,
Google, yeah.
Can you imagine?
Like, that's who her husband, Steve, he's just been saying that I was a model for Venus.
I'll be happy
in Mount Olympus Museum in Athens.
I'll be happy in a few years if I can remember my own name.
Like myself. IBR says, I think it makes more sense to keep Kelleher and sell Allison.
I've been saying that, IBR. I've been saying that.
Yeah.
But if you do sell Kelleher, what's his value now?
What happens when the other guy comes in? 30 million we pay for him.
Well, I mean, obviously he's been promised the number one spot,
Must
but
be.
I can't understand if Kelleher's leaving, and we believe he's leaving at the end of this season. If he's leaving, then what? So is Allison taking second spot? I can't see him doing that.
No.
So I think it's I think the decision to bring Mohamedashvili is a little premature.
Maybe it comes back to this business about age, because Allison's 32. You know, they like FSG with long-term contracts for people over 30. You know, they might be thinking Allison mightn't be the same player in a year's time, and he's injury-prone. He seems to catch a few injuries, so maybe they're looking at that. But I feel sorry for Kelleher because he should be a number one at the moment the way he's playing.
Yeah, he really should.
Yeah. I think that penalty proved it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Even Allison was sitting there looking at him, and he's like, "That's a number one. That's a number one."
Well, I don't think Allison would have a jealous bone in his body.
No.
You know,
no, they all support each other. John, the coach, Axenberg, he told me that. He said he was a coach for quite a while. He said when we're up at the academy, none of them have got. They all support each other. The goalkeepers.
Well, Karen Kariakou says, "Bloody hell, there's talent on here. I'm a Scouser, and my hubby has a Greek dad. I was a youth before I got married. Take no notice of Frank. They model my laughing eyes because I can't stop laughing."
Hughes, that sounds like an Irish name.
Yeah, it's Welsh, isn't it?
Is it? It was a bit, well.
Yeah, Hughes is Welsh.
Hughes is Welsh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Great result, though, she says, last night.
Yeah, it was, Karen. It was. We're all saying that.
Right, let's see. The Anfield. Nothing that a strong drink. I don't know what these are. Yeah, let's see what Callum says. I'd give Allison one chance of not getting injured. Then, if he does, sell him, keep Kelleher and Mohamedashvili.
What, Mohamedashvili?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be very, very difficult to please Mohamedashvili if he's coming in this or next season with the promise that he was going to be made number one, and then if you keep Kelleher. But I think Kelleher, they should have kept him in mind because he's been tried and tested, and he would have been perfect for the number one spot. I mean, it just felt like the normal progression. That Kelleher was going to take that spot up.
Why couldn't they keep it like it is? Keep it like it is with these two, and you've got the other lad beneath them as well. There's another goalkeeper just beneath them, isn't there? Three of them.
Jaros, yeah.
Why didn't they keep it like that and spend the 30-odd million on a number 6?
Why not?
Put it towards something that they need in there. You know, that would have been better for me. I don't know why they're rushing up both up with the goalkeepers, because the goalkeepers are brilliant.
Yes. But, you know, if the lads, the three of them are going to sign a contract, I'm telling you now, we won't be spending anything because the spin will be, as you know, they're like 3 new signings. We don't need anyone. That's what it'll be like.
We'll all breathe a big sigh of relief, I think, if they sign. I will, anyway.
Anfield Row. Question for the Bee Gees. I mean, the bad knees.
Yeah, Anfield, my knees are perfect, mate. They're perfect.
Why not? Who is you three want to come into the club? We're strong, but I fear injury to Virgil or Gravenberch or McAllister. We can be in trouble. That's what we're saying. That's what George more or less said before. Yeah. We do need somebody. I'll tell you who I want. I want Zubimendi. and ain't happy. That's who
Yeah,
I
you've
want.
always said that. Yeah, you rate him highly, don't you? I do as well.
I've got to make a phone call. I'm sorry, boys. Can you just carry on?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hello, it's the Revenue Tax Commission. Can I speak to Frank, please?
You'll have to read the things out because I don't know. I haven't got it down the side. You might have them down the side. I can't see the. I can only see what goes on below. I can't see any of the.
I'll read them out and we'll have a chat about them.
We can chat about it, yeah.
So IBR says, what's Jaros' situation as he's off contract in the summer and a solid number 2? So that's the third goalkeeper.
Yeah, well, he's not going to get a game, is he? He's going to be playing in the under-21s or whatever. It's no good. He's not going to get a full-time spot at Liverpool as a goalkeeper. He's going to have to be on the move, I'm afraid. Sadly, because he's probably he looked good when he came on that game against Crystal Palace. Was it Crystal Palace? Played the whole game, yeah. He never let us down. But if you've got this new guy coming in, Mashvili, whatever his name is, you've got him coming in. You've got Carlyle. How is Jaros going to fit in? He'd be better getting first team football somewhere, I would have thought. You know,
well, I think he would have been probably the he could have been the second keeper. He could have been the second choice because if we're losing Kelleher,
Kelleher goes, yeah.
I
think if one of them goes, Kelleher or Allison, if one of them goes, you'll obviously keep Jaros. Obviously you need 3 keepers, don't you?
We may be losing both of them though this season.
Yeah.
I
don't know his background, Jaros. Has he come through the academy or did we sign him from another club? He suddenly appeared in the radar. I didn't really know much about him before he actually played.
I don't know too much about him either. I think he was on loan there in League of Ireland, as far as I know. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. But I mean, in the pre-season he played well. He looked, he's a good 6-footer, so he looked the business. But I don't think he's anyway, the sort of level that Kelleher or Allison is.
Well, it's such an important position, Sean, isn't it? Because Liverpool have always had fantastic goalkeepers. They used to have a telegraph address was goalkeeper in the old days of the telegrams.
Yeah.
That's why every time a goalkeeper comes into the Kop, they all applaud, in the Kop, because goalkeepers are highly rated at Anfield, even the opposition goalkeepers. So you need to have a class goalkeeper playing in Liverpool, and we've got that at the moment. Both of them, with Allison and Kelleher, so it's important we have a really strong person. And the other thing is such a vital position. Look what happened to Karius against Real Madrid and Paris. He's just retired, hasn't he? Exactly. And he's cited the fact that he's never been able to live that down. Wherever he's gone, it's followed him. It's such a high-pressure position. You can't afford. You've got millions watching on television in the final of the European Champions League, and if you drop a ball like he did, it's a killer. You get all the praise when you do well and score a great goal.
Exactly.
If you do something, the goalkeeper is very vulnerable because he's the last line of defence, and we've shown that with Allison. How many times he saved us?
Do you think it's a major gamble to go in for this Mohamedashvili fella, and then the possibility of losing Allison and Kelleher at the end of the season?
I do, yeah, because that would be a bit of a disaster to lose both of them, because both of them are quality. And we'd be saying for a long time that Allison's the best in the world. And it's only because he's had this injury and Kelleher's done so well that he's gone a little bit down a bit, but he'll be back. I'm sure if he can keep the injury, he'll be back at his best in no time.
You can't do anything really with a hamstring, can you? Everybody I'm not saying everybody, but people do suffer from hamstrings, and that's what put them out. And I think with his team, they're making sure that everything is all right. Like you've got on there, you've got MNX, and he plays football, and he's done his hamstring in, and he said, "Stay away, don't play." And he did it last month, the beginning of last month, and he's coming back, like in December. So he knows about it, and it's so. And that's the sad thing about. I made up what George said there. We can't forget what Ali's done for us. That save against Napoli.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We won the European Cup that season.
And he scored a headed goal against West Brom.
And he had a goal against West Brom.
Yeah.
That was
get
amazing.
into the Champions League.
That was fantastic.
Just in answering our question on where Jaros came from, IBR says that Jaros did come from the academy. And
I thought that. Yeah.
He's classed as a homegrown player, he believes. So yeah.
Oh, right. That's interesting, isn't it?
I still think that it's a gamble with Mohamed Ashvili when we had a clear number one coming from number two. I think they should have put Kelleher.
Yeah. I don't see the rationale for it. They must have a reason for it, but anyway, we won't have to worry about it till next season. He's not going to come till then, is he?
No.
He might be joining the champions.
But you know what, though? This coming weekends against City, do you feel more optimistic now going into this game, George?
Yeah, I do feel optimistic because you got to remember, we've got a really good track record at Anfield against these big teams. We tend to rise to the occasion. Even Barcelona, when we came back from 3-0 down, the atmosphere is very intense. We all know that as Liverpool fans. There's no team wants to come to Anfield. Even Ferguson said it was the most intimidating place he played. Even Neville said that, you could never relax because the crowd were just, if something happens like happened with Bradley and incites the crowd, how City will live with it, I don't know. Same happened with Arsenal, earlier this year. There was a bit of an argument with Trent and Gabriel, I think it was. By the line on the Kenny Dalglish stand, and a bit of a bust up, and the crowd from that moment, Liverpool went and really dominated the game.
I think that's how you win games, though. I mean, look, George, I think that's how you win games. I think that tackle from Bradley there against Mbappe just set the tone, and it was like, listen, guys, we're not here to play around here. So,
Well, it's what my grandson said, Ben, because he was at the game last night. He said the roar when Bradley made that tackle on, he said it was incredible. It just don't and that lifted everybody.
Yeah.
Now, that's my grandson saying that.
Yeah, then they all start chanting and running the scarves around, and it's really intimidating for the opposition. It really is, I can tell you.
It was a typical Steven Gerrard tackle.
Yeah, perfectly timed, wasn't it? Perfectly timed. Yeah. Got to ball everything, ball the man, the log.
So, what's your take about? Are you more optimistic now, Sean, about this game at the weekend?
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, we've just beaten Real Madrid 2-0, and convincingly. It wasn't a close 2-0. It was a very, very convincing 2-0. And you have to look at our form and look at City's form, and realise that City are not in great form. They're leaking goals. I mean, you've seen them 3-0 up, and Feyenoord coming back to 3-all. And they were very lucky, to leave it at that. So I think Pep is losing it, personally. And I think they're missing Rodri.
Very much.
And I think I think with the sort of form that we have this season, and then obviously the 12th man being Anfield, I think it's going to be an absolute trubbing. We're going to absolutely trash them, I think. So I am very confident.
I don't think Slot. Yeah, I think. Sorry, Frank.
Go on, George.
No, I don't think Slot will be complacent because whatever we say about City, they are a great team. They've proved that over the last 4 or 5 seasons. They may be coming towards the latter end of the greatness, and you have to rebuild. because, as you say, they're missing Rodri, and they've got a few players getting on towards 30 years of age, and and obviously they've had a bad run, and they've got all this 115 charges hanging over them. Things are not bright at the Etihad at the moment, I don't think, but they'll be up for it. They'll have a blasting from Pep. They'll be up for it. They'll be saying, come on, this is a statement. If we win, we'll be 5 points behind. We're back in the race. So we mustn't get complacent. I'll tell you, it will be a tough game. I need a bit of luck as well in front of goal. Get the first goal.
I think as well about Man City, they couldn't spend too much this season.
Oh, yeah.
Playing. They were just spending like as nothing, or buy in, bring him here. And that's why he was so successful. But with all this hanging over them, I don't think they couldn't spend that much. They couldn't get who they really wanted to get. That's just my opinion, by the way.
That's a very good point.
And this is why the spluttering all along, along the track. Anyway, Callum says, City lost to Spurs last week 4-0. That was enough to confirm the victory this week. This is Anfield. If we can do 4, we can do 5 or 6. My mate isn't a Liverpool fan, but his prediction, us to beat City, 6-0.
I personally can't see that, personally. I can't see that sort of score.
No, but that's his mate, you see. That's what he's saying. But what young Callum is saying, he said, yeah, it's possible we can do 4. We have beaten them, We've beaten them.
Yeah, a number of times. Remember that goal from Fabinho? From outside
Can I just make a point from the point that you made, Frank? It also goes to show, obviously they're guilty of sin of those 115 financial fair play breaches. The fact that they didn't, or they hardly purchased anyone in the summer, but it also shows and reconfirms how bad a man-to-man manager Pep is. Without that money, he's nothing. Because
I've always said that. If he managed Derby County or Luton Town or any club really, even the Premier League, Brentford, Brighton, he wouldn't be doing what he is now. I'm sure he's a good coach, no question about that. But I don't think he'd reach the heights, because all the teams he's been manager of have been brilliant teams with star players, Barcelona, etc.
And spent loads of money as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read today, Frank, that this 115 charges, the case is concluding next week or the week after, but there's no decision till January. And when they make a decision in January, there'll be a load of appeals, which is going to go right through next season, and the final sanction won't be till the end of next season.
Yeah.
Well, I think
we're all expecting that anyway.
Yeah.
I think a point that you made, George, is that there'll be a lot of clubs suing Man City if they are found guilty. Those clubs that have missed out in European spots and have been relegated. So I think this could very well be the end of Man City.
Well, it's going to be huge anyway if they're found guilty, and they have to pay the price, won't they? I mean, it's going to be relegation or huge points deduction at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's if they're found guilty. I don't know. It's why isn't anything being done now? This is what I mean.
It's money, Frank.
Something should have been done 2 years ago. 2 years ago, something should have been done, and nothing.
Top lawyers, and money.
Yeah.
The Anfield Roar says Liverpool 2-1. It will be tight. Pep could not manage Mainz or Dortmund. He's worked or signed the best players in the world.
Exactly, Anfield Roar. That's what I've been saying all along, and the whole kind of argument who is the GOAT or who is the best manager, especially when it was Pep versus Klopp. I think Pep even knew that Klopp was a better manager, better coach than him, because he worked on a shoestring.
Sorry to interrupt, Sean, but it really annoys me that Slot was not presented with the manager of the month. I've had 2 managers of the month in the last few months, or maybe even 3 in the last 3 months, and the lads lost 1 game. We're top in the European League and we're top in the Premier League by 8 points, and they won't appoint the manager of the month. Come on, what's that all about? If that doesn't prove Liverpool are hated or by the mainstream or whoever makes these decisions, what does?
Well, we'll see at the end of this month, won't we?
Yeah.
We'll see at the end of this month.
Got to be.
I'll tell you, they won't be able to question, how well we've done. If we're unbeaten this month,
yeah, they'll be forced to give him it, won't they?
Oh, they have to.
Yeah, that's it. He shouldn't. No one should be forced to give somebody an award that is richly deserved.
Yeah.
You see
it's
what I mean?
Like Salah with the Ballon d'Or. Salah never even got onto the list.
20
players.
Even,
it wasn't only 20 players.
Declan Rice got on that. Yeah. Declan Rice.
It's just unbelievable.
What?
Some players I'd never even heard of.
Ridiculous.
And Callum says, why can't we beat City 6-0? We can win, in my opinion. Remember when City beat a depleted Liverpool 5-0 in 2017? It's payback time.
Callum, we could beat them 6-0. Of course we could. I'm not sure it will be as open as that.
Our greatest win over them was the 3-0 here when, that super shot by Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then went up to Main Road. Was it or the Etihad, whatever it was.
The Etihad.
And beat them 2-1.
Yeah. Got a good record again.
5-1 on aggregate. And don't forget, we came from behind to beat them. They scored, didn't they? With that
scored one goal with about 35 passes. 35 passes. And Firmino scored.
Yeah. That was it.
That was incredible. From our own penalty box.
The problem is the Premier League are scared of the big oil money and the nation state behind City.
Yeah, that's a great quote. That's a great point. I agree.
I don't mind that, though. Something's got to happen. Something's got to give with them. Because if nothing gives with Man City, you, me, everybody else, all these lads on chat, even lads who wanted to get rid of Mo Salah and everybody else, Curtis Jones and Diaz and them all, they'll even agree that it's corrupt, if you know what I mean.
Well, the integrity will be gone from the game.
Of course.
I think a lot of integrity already has left the game, George.
Yes, I agree.
Especially when it comes to the exploitation of fans, and
that should have been dealt with quickly, and gone.
Yeah.
Remember last week when I said, George and Sean, those continental referees, we should have them here, refereeing our games. What did you think of that ref last night?
I was thinking of that.
Not a lot.
No, wasn't he? Some little French fella running around giving them.
Where did they find them from? I don't know.
Rumor has it he's David Coote's party mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's denying everything.
No, he can deny all he likes.
It's all on film.
Have you ever seen Mission Impossible?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
stands it there like that, and all of a sudden he just go take off the mask. I think that was cute last night.
Oh, absolutely. No, do you know what it is? It's not Mission Impossible. It's Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo, yeah. Scooby-Doo, yeah. Rushing around like lunatics.
Yeah.
Roadrunner. It was like the Roadrunner.
Yeah, the idea. Hey, do you know what? One of the lads who's always on, he's always on, right? And it's TW72, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. We call him T. Did you remember what he said the other night when there was predictions going out? What was it?
2-1.
To who?
Against Real Madrid.
Yeah, 2-1 against. Yeah.
He hasn't been on since.
He
wasn't on last night. He's not on tonight. come back, see, everything's forgiven.
We were only joking.
We're all right, you know. We're not. We won't say anything. You won't get stick off us. Norman, them individual awards are bull. It's what we have at the end of the season as a team that matter. My opinion.
Yeah, quite right, Norman. Quite right.
Yeah. No, you're right. City aren't getting punished. The Prem finds City as the face of the Prem, and it's sad, says young Callum.
Yeah.
I've never seen this lad before, I don't think, Darryl Rule. Hiya, Darryl, welcome to the thing. If you haven't subscribed, please do, and press a like, get the algorithm up there, please.
Yes,
And,
nice to see
he
you.
says, all Liverpool got to do is keep winning as many games as they can for the rest of the season, and don't worry about the teams around them. That's what this Darren, I don't know whether you've ever been on this before, but I've never seen you, lads, you know, honestly. This is what we're about. Yeah. We don't bother about other teams around us. Honestly, we're just talking, you know, we always have a pre-match and a post-match. And just an ordinary football show, you know, throughout the weeks.
Do you remember what Shankly said to Frank? He said, we don't worry about the opponents. He said, we're going to go and win every game, he said. Every game, we're going to conquer the bloody world. He said, and they'll have to send a team from Mars to beat us.
We're after you go. Oh, for gracious never. We can play with Ataraski and goal and they won't get that.
Yeah.
What a man.
Come here and be beaten, son.
But thank you there, Darren, for that. Norman says, we beat City 5-0 in the Cup and 6-0 in the league in 1 week under Roy Evans, 95-6. That's where they had nothing though, wasn't it? You know, let's be honest. They're a totally different animal. The Anfield, I don't think we get respect. Of course, we don't. In the media in this country, the usual garbage about us is we as Scousers don't consider ourselves English, so they just seem to begrudgingly talk about us. We're Millwall, yes. Definitely. Yes, we are. We're Millwall to them. Absolutely.
Look at Sky Sports. Look what Paul Merson said the other night, or last night, and Cundy. I've got another name for Cundy.
Yeah, I had it as well in the back of my mind. Didn't say it.
Yeah.
Don't say it, John.
No, I'll have to do two double blessings there, so I will.
I know. It's shocking. And me as well. I'll be doing a blessing to George.
Oh.
Yeah. What about this? This is a nice one. Curtis, says Norman, has always had the ability. He is starting to show consistency and maturity to go with.
Absolutely spot on, Norman.
And Jay says, only thing I can see coming up is injuries versus Everton. They will come out and start kicking out of the lads. If we're at least, as I said in the race in January, we will walk it.
The derby is always a tough game, whatever you play it.
I hate derbies.
It's not a normal game, is it? I mean,
no.
As you said, very. Mind you, these days you can't kick your opponents like you used to because you get off. You'd be sent off.
Ian Mack. Chiesa has been training like Rocky up and down the steps of St. George's Hall. Not long now till his return. Training like Rocky.
You probably slip and break his leg.
Return to the medics table, you mean, if he's bloody doing that? Sweet Jesus. I mean, I shouldn't be taking the piss. So, I mean, I'd love to see Chiesa do well, but I don't know.
No. I seen him. I was watching him last night, And when we scored, I don't know what goal it was. And you see him laughing, you know, he's made up. Sitting next to Ellison.
Yeah.
Next to Ellison.
He should be made up playing for Liverpool. He needs to get on the pitch, though.
Not that I'm a royalist, but it doesn't help Liverpool while booing the national anthem. It just makes the media more biased. To be honest, you're right. You're right, Redbird. But it's always been like that, mate. Believe me, I came home from Wembley. It was in the 78 final when we beat FC Bruges. Like Kenny Dalglish scoring. And I got a lift, like I was coming to town there, and I was with these lads, you know, all around me, all these lads. Anyway, you know, when he just sorted out, I met him back home. He said, "Yeah, we've got a van," and we jumped in the van, and in the car park was Bobby Robson. And we just said, "All right, Bobby." And he came over to us and he went, "You must be very proud of your team tonight." And that was a lovely thing to say to us. We said, "We are, you know, we're big Reds." And anyway, we all get in the van. And then we get off and we get fucking lost going up. Anyway, we get lost going up. We ended up in fucking Yorkshire. And we were over these Yorkshire there, and it was like open all hours, this little mad shop with nothing around. And we walks in, and all these lads had the red and white on, you know, scarf hats and everything. And he went, "Morning." And he said, "Good morning, where's your papers? We want to know the way to Wembley. Have you got any maps?" And he went, "The way to Wembley? You're going to Wembley?" He said, "Yeah." And he went, "You played last night, lad. You played last night." I said, he said, "Well, no, not me, but they were saying, no, we want to get to Wembley, we want to see the match." And he picked up a paper and he went like that. "No, lads, you won. But he never went to the, this is true, honestly, this is true. He never opened the back page. He never showed the back page. He had to open it to the second last back page, if you know what I mean." And he went like that. We weren't even on the back page.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Well, I mean, look, we don't need to give a history lesson on why they boo the national anthem. It's been repeated over and over and over and over again as to why, and valid reasons as to why they do it. The establishment never cared and treated.
I don't give a fuck about us anytime. Anytime since Hillsborough.
That's what I'm saying, yeah, or even before.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it's well documented. They want to disrespect us. Maybe they want to look at the history and wonder, and then they don't need to wonder why we boo or why Liverpool local fans boo the national anthem. You know, I
always remember Heysel. We were there at Heysel. And it was shocking. All the people locked them all up. Us locked them all up. This is what they were like, even after Heysel. It was shocking. Locked them all up. That's why I'll never ever, when Brian Clough's name is mentioned.
That's it, yeah.
He blames us. That man blames us, blame me. I took that personally because I said he blamed me for that. And someone said, "Go away, was he talking to you?" I said, "No," I said, you know, collectively. Once you blame one, you blame us all.
Yeah.
And you take it personally. I took that personally. So it's not just now. It's going back years. it's going back. Do you remember always the victim? Remember Boris Johnson, what he fucking said about us?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Michael Howard, who was
himself and his father, himself
what?
and his father,
Yeah.
Boris Johnson's father, and also what Boris Johnson and his father as well said about the Irish.
Yes, but the same.
Scum.
Anyway, Michael Howard, who was the leader of the Conservatives at the time, said, get up to Liverpool and apologise. Because he came out with a statement, because he was writing for this Spectator or something like that. I forget who he was writing for. And he called us for everything. And saying that, you know, they're always playing the victim and, you know, things like this. The town of self-pity. That's what he fucking called us, the town of the self-pity town, or the city of self-pity. I'm not paraphrasing. They were used pity, self-pity. And Michael Howard said, get up there and apologise. He came up, but he didn't fucking apologise. He never said, I'm sorry.
No, he's a fucking dirt bird.
And I always remember when there was a report fucking going around saying that they wouldn't even fucking ask him if he was, this is why I don't fucking bother with Granada reports or anything like that, because they never asked him a straightforward question. They were around the Albert truck, like, you know, walking around with him, putting a mic in front of his face. Not one question came out. Are you going to apologise to the city of Liverpool for what you call them? Not one fucking question like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, honestly, Anfield or
I think that was Redbird.
Was it Redbird who said it?
Redbird, yeah.
And he says to IBR, the nonsense don't make the laws, Parliament do, but the Royals signed them into law. None of them give a fuck about them. No, I'm going to tell you, John, I refuse the gong, you know. Not a night judge, but an NBA, whatever the fucking called. Because of Hillsborough, because of the fight against the establishment.
I don't know whether I ever asked you this, Frank, but what's your view of Kenny Dalglish not or accepting it?
Look,
or is that a...
Everybody loves Kenny. Everybody loves Kenny Dalglish, and quite rightly so. One of our great players. Even I was at a function with him, and I told him about Oliver Twist, and you know, the seeds were sown to Charles Dickens when he visited Liverpool. Charles Dickens, and he read about this lad and the birth, and that gave him the seed. And all through the night, he was shouting over to me, Frank, what's that again, Kenny? And he goes, what was Oliver Twist? Where does he come from? I said, he was a Scouser. He comes in around to these fellas and think, look, Oliver Twist. But the point is, I lost respect for him. And when I said, you know, people say, well, he's not from Liverpool.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He knew that we were fighting.
Yeah.
I won't say a bad word about him. I just lost respect. It's as simple as that. You know, do you turn down a night judge? Yeah, you can. David Bowie did. And someone else. Bowie said, I don't want one of them. What are you giving me one of them for? You know, they're like to fucking Mick Jagger. You know, they accepted it.
But
he doesn't even fucking live here.
Yeah, Bob Geldof. Bono.
He's not a nicest, is he, Bono?
No,
He's
Bono isn't.
Moron.
Yeah, no, listen, I absolutely hate Bono. Absolutely.
The Alfredo says, no, Norman, we've always done just fine without them politicians. I'm your fine being to our own city. That's again, you know, it's the Scots, not English. I'm on a documentary, Scots, not English. Why is Liverpool so different from the rest of the country? I'm proud to be different from the rest of the country. I've been away on holiday, and as soon as they hear my accent, I remember the last time I was in Italy, I was only on my own, only went on my own, and I'm sitting there, not a restaurant, but it was this hotel, a few tables out, and I went to have a meal, you know, and I was sitting there at night, and there was a couple just facing me, and the next was it was a lady. I was just speaking Italian to the waiter, you know, asking for me food, you know, mangiare, and this lady shouted over. She said, "Excuse me, are you Italian?" And I went, "No, love." I said, "I'm from Liverpool." Her husband sitting next to her. Well, oh, what's your handbag? A Scouser. And I just looked over and I went, "Do you think for one fucking minute I'm going to stand up here, walk over to your table, grab your wife's bag and fucking run off with it?" And he was looking at me like that. He said, "No, I didn't mean that." Like I said, "But don't make them fucking jokes." I said, "I'm sick of them."
Yeah.
And I was out. I was in Turkey once. Went over to see Ephesus, a special place, a Roman, and sitting in it. And there was these two lads from Middlesbrough. Anyway, he said to me, I was with my ex then, and he said to me, "What do you do?" So she told him what she did. And he said to me, "What do you do?" And before I could answer, Julie went like, "Always a lecturer." And they looked, and they didn't believe it. They were asking me, you know, like quiz questions. And I just looked at them and I said, "Listen, lads," I said, "listen, if you want me to be a fucking bricklayer, I will be, or a painter, or I'll do that. Even changing fucking wheels on their cars, I'll be one of them." I said, "I'm not interested in your fucking opinions, asking me stupid questions." And this is the type of how people view Liverpool.
The stereotype, yeah.
Oh, it's shocking.
And I mean, I wouldn't even mind.
Victimization as well.
I wouldn't even mind, Frank, but the stereotype of, like, because they talk about the social welfare and people skiving off work and whatever. The economy in Liverpool itself, the city of Liverpool, is booming, absolutely booming. I did a bit of research into it, and it's one of the best cities in terms of what it produces, and like how it contributes to the rest of the country, and it is absolutely booming. And the lack or the amount of people unemployed is at its lowest it's ever been. So this whole, bin dipper and all of that, those hurtful comments are unfounded. It's just a thing that they throw at them, throw at Liverpool, the city of Liverpool, the people of Liverpool, just to be absolute dickheads. But it's unfounded, it's ignorant, and it's just uneducated people make those comments because it's completely 110% unfounded. And anytime I see a comment like that, I respond and I say this to them, and they have nothing to come back on. Nothing.
Well, the point is, you see, it's like I
say that, boys.
No, it's all right, John.
We're still here, George.
I stick to my principles. And once I stick to my principles, you know, no one can like budge me. I'm being honest. I'm a Taurus, if you know what I mean. And they say like Taurians are very stubborn. But I've got very strong beliefs. I've got very strong principles. And
very good, that friend.
It's like John Barnes. Someone mentioned John Barnes there. When I was watching a program one morning, and he was reviewing The Sun, and I was disgusted at that. He must have realised what it's like, you know, that particular paper in this country. And I, you know, love John Barnes as a player, love him, brilliant player, but I've lost respect for him. It's as simple as that. Someone mentioned Stephen Graham. I went to Stephen Graham's birthday party, and I was brilliant lads in there, and all of a sudden he was promoting a fucking film, and he had right in front of the Sun, and I couldn't believe it. And I've got a mate who's a playwright. He's a film maker as well, and he won't speak. Big Red, and I won't mention his name, but he won't speak to Graham over that. And they were doing a film. They were doing a film. Paramount wanted it and everything else, and he just cut it dead, because they did half an hour like a pilot, and the Paramount wanted to do it, and he just went no.
No Liverpool fans going to forget what they wrote in that headline. Nobody's going to ever forget that. You know, disgusting.
There's one man I feel sorry for, and he got lambasted over it. And I'm telling you who it is, Graham Souness.
Souness, I know.
No, his mate, a friend of his mate, said, Graham, give us a story. And he said, yeah, and he gave him a story. Little did he fucking know that he was selling it to, he was a freelance reporter, you see, journalist, and he sold it to the Sun.
Yeah. Just the week after he got married.
Over that,
and he regretted it. He still regrets it to this day, doesn't he? And he
does.
Yeah. He's never spoken to that fella.
Was this the week after he got married, Frank?
Sorry,
I just wanted to know, was this the week he got married, Graham Souness?
Yeah, he married that girl, and he just sold it. He never sold the story. He gave it to this lad who went to the Sun.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you know, Graham was, shocking.
He blames himself for that.
Even people still think that today about Sue.
Yeah.
All wrong. No. So if you ever see him, George, tell him.
Yeah, no, I've seen him a few times, and he's a great lad, Souness. He's a great lad.
Yeah, right on our show. We support him. There's no problem with that. And a lot of other people as well. So
he's done a lot of good work for charity, hasn't he, as well?
Yeah.
I'll never forget what he did at Turkey.
He planted the flag in the centre circle.
Man, that was just iconic.
That took some courage. That did. Bloody hell.
Just iconic. I like Souness.
Yeah, fantastic footballer.
He's a good pundit as well.
Yeah.
He's a good
I think, unfortunately, when he came to Liverpool, he did his best, but he brought methods from the continent that we weren't ready for it, really. The continuity was broken from the boot room. And, you know, again, I think if he looks back, Graham, he probably regrets some of the things that he did in terms of the coaching side, where, I mean, he could have took a different route and it didn't quite work for him, which was a shame, really, because it would have been nice if he could have continued the continuity of the great players and become a great manager there, you know. But he never really made it as a great manager anywhere, really, did he?
Well, there you go. And he supports Liverpool.
Yes, yeah.
He's a red. He's one of us.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And anyway, I just want to answer this question here. I'm not going to answer, I'm just going to give a name out. The Redbird says to Norman, our president's any better apart from Donald J. Trump? No wars under his last term in office. Also, he gave all his presidential wages to charities. No other leader has ever done. You're right there. But there's one thing, when he was picking his cabinet, he's just picked a fella by the name of, he's a retired general. named Kellogg, and he's a warhawk. He's a warhawk, Redbird. He's a horrible man. I've been following this fella, and he just wants to. Well, that's
Redbird. I think there was the Ukraine, or not the Ukrainian, the Uruguayan president. I think it's somewhere in South America. He donated majority of his salary to charities, and he literally lived on a shoestring. Like he had crappy clothes and pretty much almost lived on the poverty line.
Gaddafi.
Yeah.
So does he. Anyway, Norman says, I'm a socialist, a working class socialist, a working man, a family man with principles. I love my family and Liverpool. I love history and have a laugh. If I won £1 million, I would be the same.
Good man.
I said,
good man.
That's us. That's us. Yeah. We're all the same. We won't change. Do you know what? I like Paul McCartney. Because Paul, he gives so much to charity. That lad. And I've been to his...
Don't publicise
it. You know, like the NHS, Lindsay McCartney unit.
Yes.
I've been like tested in there.
Royal,
if you know what I mean. And, you know, fantastic. And he still gives it. He still gives it. And I always remember Tony Snell saying, can I mention the charities you give to in Liverpool? He said, no. He said, no. He said, if you mention them, I won't give any more money again. Just use my anonymity. That's what he said, Paul McCartney. Lovely man. So I've got great respect for him. He loves Liverpool. Like you, George.
Yeah.
You love Liverpool.
Absolutely. Adore it. But I mean, they should do that. These guys should be giving money to charity.
Absolutely.
All of them should be giving money to charity, you know, because, you know, charity begins at home, and a lot of people are so much worse off than them, you know. And it's nice to spread it around. They've still got plenty left in the kitty.
Yeah. Yeah. Kellogg, does he do cornflakes?
I knew that was coming. Is he a bit of a cornflake?
I knew that was coming as well.
Yeah. It's just a matter of time.
But he's 80 anyway. Anyway, the Anfield Roar says, Graham Souness took the job too early. Shame. Yeah. But I always wanted to pick his brains on his thinking of some of his transfer activity. Oh, so did I. Especially
Julian Dix.
No, not yet. I mean, like getting rid of them.
Oh, all right.
One player he sold to Everton, Peter Beardsley.
Beardsley, that's right. Yeah, it was unbelievable. Yeah.
Because me and Normal want to know, I do myself. There's Richard Dawkins. You mentioned you before, Richard, didn't we, Sean?
We were only talking about you, Richard. All good, of course, even though you're a Man U fan.
So, yes, like United, many Liverpool players came from working class backgrounds. Absolutely. George, who was the lad? I was trying to think last night. Who was the lad? Well, you were there celebrating, running around the streets with you and your grandsons, you know, after the Real Madrid game and drinking all the scotch and everything. So we couldn't pick your brains last night. Who was the lad who got wounded in the trenches, came home on leave, and went up to Anfield and said, is it Dodson? Or Bromlow?
Tom Bromlow.
Tom Bromlow. Oh, listen to this. He got wounded. He went up limping.
I know his grandson very well, Lee Tracy. Lee Tracy is a friend of mine. Friend of mine on Facebook. He's got Tom Bromlow's championship medal, 1921 champions, the Untouchables. He's got the medal.
Give him my regard.
I've said it before. You won't believe it, but he had 30,000 people at his wedding. He was married in a town hall, And like when we came back in '65, you were there probably, Frank, when we came back with the cup. And we've never seen a crowd like it. Never. We couldn't believe our eyes when we came out of the station. And people on top of buildings were hanging off flagpoles, you name it, they were there. And Tom Bromelo, I saw a picture, at least showed me this picture of his granddad's wedding. There's thousands of them in the streets. He was a captain of the Untouchables after If Longworth. If Longworth was a captain before him. And then Tom took over. He was an Irish, he was a Steve Gerrard of his day. Yeah.
Would you give us, would you give him my,
Lee, he's a lovely lad.
And everyone from the show, from the podcast.
Yeah,
please do that. Please do that. Because Bromelo, as I said, he came up.
You can research him on Google. Have a look on Google and you'll see all about him. It's fantastic.
And he said, can he give you a try? The fellow, whoever it was, and he said, no. This is in the reserves anyway. He got called back, and there was only 9 fellas in the team, and he said, "Yeah, you can have a game."
Yeah, because these guys came back from the First World War, practically in their uniforms if they survived, and they were straight on to Anfield, playing in First Division, won the league, 2 years in a row.
What a player! Went on to play for England, and
that's right. Yeah.
And Richard says, one of Liverpool's most recent players, Conor Bradley, came from working class backgrounds, as does Marcus Rashford, which is why I hate people running him down.
Yeah.
We don't run anyone down,
In my day, we were all from working class backgrounds, all of us. There wasn't a player in the team that didn't come from working class background, to my memory, in the 60s and 70s.
I'm not aware of anyone running Marcus Rashford down. I mean, he's done a lot for charity and what have you, but probably more so about his performance.
Yeah, I think that's what he's saying, really, not about. So you can't go on past things. If he's been playing well 2 seasons ago, you can't keep...
And he hasn't really been up to scratch, to be honest. Not that I bother watching United, but he hasn't really been all that great over the last couple of seasons. So
he's played for 4 different managers, hasn't he? 4 different.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, and that in itself can be very
unsettling. Yeah,
but But isn't it? Just as well. So I'm going to ask you, lads.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you. Going to go to you, Sean.
Okay.
As Red Ross, I don't know if it was Redbirds or the.
Can I phone a friend?
Because he said, "Well, you've got a big head." He says, "You've got your camera on Zoom."
What can I do with this big wobblehead? I can't do a damn thing about it.
Look like Henry VIII. To be honest,
Henry VIII. I hope the slimmer version.
Slimmer
Cheeky.
That's a compliment, Henry VIII.
I should be so lucky. I can't even get one bride, not alone 8.
But listen to this. This is historical, by the way. If you ever go into Liverpool Town Hall and have a look at the Georges, King George and Prince Regent and all that, they're hanging up big portraits. And you see them, you see them, they've got massive bodies and they're well back like that, little heads. That's how superimposing that these artists were made to do them, superimposed over yet that they've got little heads. And that's why they gave Henry VIII, this big body, if you know what I mean. But he also has a big head.
So what you're saying is, let me just get this right. Let chat get this right. Sean, you look like Henry VIII.
I was thinking that actually, because when you watch was it Wolf Hall? It's on TV. It's about Cromwell, Thomas Cromwell, and you see that, and it's a very dark series. Everybody's frightened of getting the head chopped off. Eventually, he did, and most of his queens got their heads chopped off as well. But
Do you know
he
how
did look
many
like
people
it, John. That's a compliment. He's a good-looking lad who plays. He's all padded up, like with all make him look bigger.
But
in
do you know
real
how
life,
many?
he's a handsome lad.
Do you know how many people he has executed? By the way,
No.
72,000.
How many?
72,000.
Norm, what's going on? Sean reminds me of Kenny Everett. Look-wise. Kenny Everett.
Kenny Everett.
One of my mates once told me I look like Sergeant Bilko.
Kenny Everett, classic. Bilko, unbelievable.
He was a great actor, Phil Silvers, wasn't he?
That's one of the best series ever. Bilko.
Private Doberman, yeah.
One of the best.
Here we go.
So funny.
Now look what you've created. All hail King Henry Shoninio.
Fantastic.
Won't be able to live that one down, lads. Going straight on the diet after the Christmas.
Christmas says, Frank is a good pod on Cromwell. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
He was horrible then.
That was Thomas Cromwell, wasn't it? Not Oliver Cromwell.
But no, I did one of his descendant, Oliver. Because Thomas Cromwell, as you know, he had his head lopped off.
Yeah, he was the Chancellor, wasn't he?
Yeah, he had his head lopped off. But then again...
Oh, God.
Never mind.
You're terrible. Terrible.
Do you know what, though?
I'm going to take such offense to that.
That's why JK got sacked, from me. He did, like the way we're having a laugh, because we're in a jovial mood after last night and we're all made up and whatever.
Exactly.
And he phoned me up and he said, I'm from the old school. I don't like jokes about me. I said, what do you mean? He said, people saying, where is he? Is he in the chippy? I said, it's humour. He said, no, I'm so I got his head, so I went, okay. You won't never see him again.
He's obviously very sensitive about that for some reason. Don't know why.
Why?
It's all banter, isn't it? Yeah. You want to take a step in a football team's dressing room. If you don't want to be by God, tell you what, you wouldn't live very long in there.
I'm from the old school. George is from the old school.
The old school, yeah.
Fuck off.
You just gave as good as you get, you give people take the mickey.
I've never even seen you, lad. Yeah. I said, Jake Kismet. I said, I gave you the shortened version, JK.
But he never showed himself, did he? He never showed himself, JK.
That's what I was going to say. I said, I've never seen your face.
Logo.
You've never
he was on another chat there. He was on.
And I fucking said to finish off. Fucking hell.
That's it. I'm beheading him.
I'm beheading him.
Hold on till I ring him and I'll give out to you.
Go, Frank, go on.
Oh, I don't forget what I was going to fucking say then.
You're talking about JK.
I know, but I said, I told you, you never even told me. I said, I've known you for 2 years, and you've never once turned around and said, oh, listen, this is my name.
That's right.
You never told me his real name. If I was going around called Jay Kismet or whatever, I'd just, say like to you, George, I'd say, George, my proper name's Frank, but can you leave it at JK, you know what I mean? That's what I would have said. But at least you would have known my real name, and I would have shown me face. Yeah. No one's seen it. Oh, and he didn't like the Invisible Man either.
Yeah, I didn't. I said that a few times.
Oh, the Invisible Man.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck off. That was the end of it.
I don't think I should have actually shown my face at all. Now you all think I look like fucking Kenny Everett and King Henry VIII.
King Everett.
Just let it run off your back, Sean.
I'm just gonna have to shave the beard and just, I don't know, go
Just
to
don't
Turkey.
go around that on.
Norman says, hey Sean, I'm the wall painting, mate. Frank and George will tell you I look like right said Fred.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of meeting him at the Hotel Anfield, I think it was. We met. Lovely.
He's a nice lad, isn't he? No.
Yeah, he's lovely. He's a really nice lad.
Yeah, he's lovely. And the Anfield, George, a quick question. You're like Gandhi. You made one good thing and never made another thing. That's what he says, the Anfield. That's
Gandhi.
nice, though. Gandhi.
Well, he was a man of peace, wasn't he? I don't know.
He was a peaceman. Of course he was. Of course he was.
Oh, that's
funny. And the Anfield, Norman, I'm too sexy for New York and Japan. Sean, it's okay. I literally look like the cartoon character from Up.
Oh, that's very funny.
Yeah, that's a brilliant film.
It's such a good film.
A Pixel. George, have you ever seen it?
No.
It's like animation.
Yeah.
I loved it. It's very emotional, you know.
Yeah, it's very, very upsetting.
Oh, you
I think my grandson's seen it. Grandson's seen it, I think.
Oh, what did he say it was like?
Yeah, enjoyed it. He's good, yeah. Yeah, he said the same as you. He's sad.
I'll tell you one film, right? This is a story now that you guys don't know about me. I was an art student years and years and years back. An arts college dropout I was. And I wanted to do animation. And there was a place called Don Bluth Studio that moved to Dublin. And they did The American Tale, they did Land Before Time, and they did another film called All Dogs Go to Heaven. And that film kills me to this day.
Well, anything to do with animals, dogs is sad, you know.
But there's a story behind the film, George. Burt Reynolds is the dog, right? And the one that plays the child was a child actress whose father killed her. And the last bit of the film was her saying goodbye to Burt Reynolds. And Burt Reynolds hadn't recorded his part. She recorded her part before she was killed. So Burt Reynolds, in the end of the film, he had to do several takes because he kept on breaking down.
Breaking down, yeah. Can imagine.
Oh,
some of these things do get you right in the heart, don't they? Remember that film, Greyfriars Bobby?
No.
Yes.
Oh,
Greyfriars Bobby. It was about a dog in Edinburgh, and it sat on its master's grave for years.
Yeah.
And there's a pub there, Greyfriars Bobby, with a statue of the dog outside. Yeah, I was there this year at a pint in the pub.
Well, the Anfield says, I'm feeling better tonight. I'm going to hit the booze tomorrow.
Hit the booze on Sunday. Get the right results on Sunday. I think a lot of people will be hitting the booze.
Well, Norman says, hey, George, mate, tell Gordon Wallace to write a book and come on here to speak to Frank. We would love to hear from him and to hear his story, and not many left at the Shankly Boys. I've asked George to bring him on.
The problem is he's not on the internet. He's not on Facebook. He's not on Twitter. He doesn't do anything online. And he's very nervous about doing anything without me by his side. It's just the way it is, you know, and it's difficult, really. And I hate to force him to do things that he's not comfortable.
No.
I always tell him you're asking after him, Frank. You know, I always mention it to him.
Yeah, because, you know,
he knows who you are.
Just tell him about, you know, what's being said about him as well. And, things like that, because we never forget our lads. We never,
Do you know what? He's not even on YouTube. He hasn't even got YouTube.
Hasn't he?
So it's the way he is. He's got Sky. I think he's just got Sky TV now. But he's a great lad. I hope he does write a book.
Richard Hawkins says, it is actually my life story. I lost my son in '93 after he got a young girl pregnant. 7 years later, I lost his mother.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That's heartbreaking stories, isn't it? That's shocking.
Yeah.
You say a loss of a child, however old he is.
And Norman, I watched Charles Bronson film, The Valachi Papers. Great film. Yeah, it's a true story about Valachi. That's how you pronounce his name. The Anfield Roar. I've always taught 2 girls 1 cup is a real horror.
Jesus.
I'm not seeing that one.
Yeah, that one. That he don't Google that, whatever you do.
No, Unfair. He's a fucking whopper, him, isn't he?
Oh,
the Unfair Road says Frankie George show. I watched Midnight Express the other night. Jeez, what's a film!
I've seen that. I've seen that. Yeah,
it's a true story. It's an actual true story, which is horrendous.
Horrendous, yeah, it was.
Have you watched? Sean, you haven't watched it, have you?
The Turkish.
Faces, you haven't even watched the film yet.
No. I'm talking about his other comment there.
Well, have you ever watched? Have you watched Nobody yet?
No, I haven't watched it with nobody yet.
Midnight Express, the boy's in a Turkish jail, isn't he? A Turkish prison.
Yeah.
Pretty vicious. Yeah, vicious.
Who's in that film? I think I've seen that.
He's dead now.
Who?
Is he? Yeah.
Yeah, he's dead. I forget his name. He became a drug addict, and in real life.
There was a film on TV last Saturday afternoon. I jumped into a black and white film, 1943. It's called A Matter of Life and Death.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Heaven made a mistake. He jumped out of a plane without a parachute, and up in heaven, they got his name wrong. And they've got typical 1940s film, Franco talking. It's got a big elevator going up to heaven. And all the airmen are coming into heaven. And all of a sudden, this girl says, name? Oh, no, we made a mistake here. So the guy lives, but he's really dead. It's an amazing story.
Isn't it brilliant the way it goes from like black and white into colour and black and white again?
It's a typical genre from that time, and the stilted accents, the BBC type accents, the way they speak to each other. I was fascinated by it. It was a happy ending in the end as well, which is good.
Oh yeah, great ending. David Niven. I always remember an old lived next. He was one of my neighbours. He's dead now, George. His name was George. And anyway, he used to go over, in the summer and sitting outside on a Sunday afternoon, have a couple of beers and whatever. And he said to me, he mentioned David Niven all of a sudden, and he said he was because he was an old soldier as well, and he said that David Niven was a coward and doing films. I said no, he wasn't. I said he was a war hero.
Yeah.
I said he was a war hero in the First World War, a war hero in the Second. He said, how do you know that? I said, because I know. Because he landed, and I told him who he was thinking of. I said, he landed in Normandy. He came over when the country declared war on Germany. He came over in 1939, the end of 1939, 2 months after the war was declared. I said, and he went into his old regiment because he was I forget what regiment it was. I think it was a Scottish regiment, by the way. So he went into his old regiment. I said, and on D-Day, Normandy, he nearly got killed because a bullet went past less than an inch past his ear, and
Yeah.
it gave him titanitis. He said, and he was deaf for about a week, he said. Now, and I said, how come you know that? Or he was, a coward. He said, because he didn't want to come over, and he took out American citizenship. I said, you're talking about Cary Grant.
Oh, yeah.
I said, Cary Grant, soon as war broke, I want to become an American citizen, because he knew that he would have had to come over. There was an old actor, there was the likes of, excuse me, there was the likes of David Niven, there was the likes of Ronald Coleman. Do you ever remember him? George Ronald Coleman, British actor.
Niven,
and Basil Rathbone. Now they're all coming over,
to
the country.
Niven was a very handsome man, wasn't he? The handsome man, smoothie, woman's lady killer. And he also, sadly, died of motor neuron disease. That was very tragic.
It was, and you know what? He was only married twice. First wife died, and when he married the second time.
Yes.
Incredible. And I always, I've read his two novels. Well, they're not novels, they're books, true stories. But Sean, if you ever read, mate, read The Moon's a Balloon.
Well, Jeff Golding told me about that when we wrote my book. He modelled the book on that, because he said to me, he said that, the interesting thing with the moon, I said, he mentioned the moon, I hadn't heard of it. He mentioned David Niven's The Moon's a Balloon. He said, what they do, they make sure that the reader identifies with the character, and you put teasers out to the start of the chapter, like you paint a picture, then you go away and leave the reader hanging, then you come back and the reader finds out what happened in that section. And if you look at my book, there's a lot of that in it, and that's Jeff's brilliance,
Can I tell you a story about that? Be brief, not like one of Sean, short, but
Frank is getting cheeky.
Yeah. Through this, just bear me out. I'm lying on the couch in my grandmother's, and I'm laughing my head off. It first came out and I got it, and I'm reading it, and I'm laughing. And she goes to my mother and says, I think there's something wrong with Francis. She said, why, what's wrong? He just keeps laughing all the time. She said, he even went into the toilet and was laughing and come on. She said, what are you laughing at? And I just said, I'm just laughing. Anyway, she said, so she thought there was something fucking wrong with me. So anyway, just honest, got me dog collar on and everything. I was in Italy when I was married, right, and the pool was full. So we had to go upstairs in Sorrento. So we went upstairs on a flat roof, and there was nobody there. And do you know what I had? I found it. When people leave books, The Moon's a Balloon. I went, oh, what's that? I'll read this. Wow. So I brought it up. This is easy. So anyway, brought it up. We set out the thing, them flatbeds, and so we're lying there. And I'm reading this, and I'm laughing my little head off again. And the next, do you want lunch? I said, okay, yeah. So I leave my book down, right? I leave my book down. But little did I know, honest, little did I know, she left a towel over it, right? Because I just left it on the day, and I went down first. So she put the towel over the book. So we came up after lunch. Honest to God. There's an old lady sitting right behind her. There's no one there. There was nobody on the ring. And this woman got behind us. Right. She got right behind us. She was lying there, this old lady, like that, reading. And I said, she's got me book. The Moon's a Balloon. I said, she's got me book. And I'm sitting there, and I said, I've got to ask for the book. I said, excuse me, can I have my book? And she just went like that. Excuse me. I said, can I have my book, please? She said, go away. Like posh one she was. Go away. Started reading it again. And I went, excuse me. I said, that's my book. And do you know the way it's open? And loads of fucking books here. Anyway, so I got the middle of it and I went, I want my book back. And she was pulling it. And we were both pulling it. And then I heard Frank, behind me. And I was there.
Oh, no.
She said, here's your book here.
Oh.
That was on the third day I was there. And I was there for 2 weeks. I grovelled every single day to that lady.
Oh dear, you can tell a story, Frank.
Try to
fuck you.
try to grab an L1's book.
Oh, grabbing was on me. And there's my grandmother thinking that I was cracking up. Something wrong with Francis. And that's the moon, a balloon.
Yeah,
that's
good
very
stuff.
good. Lads, I'm going to have to head.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go as well, Sean.
I'm going to finish off now. I'm going to finish off and say good night to these lads. And anyway, let's just go right down. They're all there with us. And I just want to say thank you so much to you all, honest to God. All right, so thanks, lads.
I've a few wives.
Let's hope for 3 points. 3 points on Sunday. That's the big thing,
Yes.
isn't it? Get back to reality.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Frank, the Italians are still recovering from those budgie smugglers you were on the trip. They all said, Grandi Palle Desline.
Desline. Yeah. We've had a good laugh tonight. It's been good. I'm glad I came on. It's good. You had a good crack. Yeah.
And as IBR says, thanks, Seanino, Giorgino, and Franco.
Yeah, I have a few wives' heads to chop off.
They call him Ibrahino.
Arabadesh says, listen, George, thank you for coming on tonight, mate. And give all our birthday wishes to Carol.
Yeah, she's had a lovely day. She's done well. She's got more money than me now. I'll just say good night to you, boys, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Hopefully with some good news from Sunday.
George, please, prediction before you go.
Prediction before we go, I'd say 2-0 for Liverpool. 2-0 for Liverpool. Yeah.
Thank you, George.
Okay, good night, boys. Good night, chat.
Good night, George.
Talk to the Reds.
Good night, the Reds. Really lovely. Really lovely.
I'll tell you, tonight was a great show, actually. I was only planning on sticking around for an hour, but I think just as we got into it, it was getting more and more interesting. So, such is the nature of these shows.
The Anfield, great show, fellas. Thank you. Richard Hawkins, he stays with us. Thanks, lads. Come on, United.
Good stuff, Richard.
Really, honestly, Richard, we mean that. We mentioned you even before you came on. Honestly.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because we were talking about, all the horribleness that's all around the country, about us and how lucky we were. Real Madrid had half a team out and all this crap. You know the score, mate. You know the score. Thanks to Frank, George, and Sean, and chat, says Norman. Thank you, Norm.
Thank you, Norm.
Jesus Christ, I hope the homeless are okay tonight. I only walked the dog, can't feel my fingers. You want to feel your fingers, bro?
4-1.
4-1. Reds, Mo double, Diaz and Gakpo. That's what he says. 3 points, great show, always a great laugh. Thank you, Anfield. I really appreciate that. And I love you guys. Stay safe. I'm not lovely.
Fair play, Richard. We love you too. It's great. It's great having him on. It really is. Top guy.
Even the Anfield, Richard Hawkins.
Top guy.
And
George, Absolute legend. My
Right.
prediction.
Yeah,
My prediction. So, will I do the lineup? My predicted lineup.
If you want, if you've got it all written out.
So I'll try and memorize it. So I think Allison will start. I'd like to have seen Kelleher, but I reckon Allison will start. Trent. I'd like to have thought Gomez will start, but I think Quansah will. Virgil and Robertson. And then in midfield, I reckon it's going to be Jones, Gravenberch, and McAllister. And then obviously the front three is going to be Mo, Nunez, and Diaz. And I reckon...
Yeah, go along with that. No, I'll go along. I would not Quansah though. And I don't think Slot or Sloot. I don't think that he's really got confidence in him. This is Manchester City. Yeah. So I think he'll go for more experience with Joe
Gomez
alongside Virgil. If Cornette's not playing, that is.
Yeah. I would go for Gomez too, but I would have thought that maybe he would have started Quansah, but I reckon we'll win 3-1. 3-1.
I say 2-0. I'd go along with like George's prediction. Yeah. I'd say 2-0. Callum says, "Call me deluded, all you just can't see how we don't put 4 if Spurs can, and we are 10 plus the team Spurs are." Yes, no one's saying it. You know, no one's saying that we can't put 4. It's only predictions.
Yeah. Jesus, we'd be more than happy if we put 4 ahead, you know.
I'd be made up. I'd be delighted if we did put 4 past them. But what you've got to think of, Callum, is that they'll be up for this. They'll be up, but so will we. And what we did last night will resonate with our lads. And I forget who said it after the Forest game. All we want to do now is to win every game. We don't like to lose. And that's what I told you. But it was one of our lads. So, yeah, Callum. You know, so, you know, your prediction, I hope it does come through.
There's no right or wrong answer. You know, only if you're TW and predict that Real Madrid are going to beat us.
And Callum says Diaz needs to be left wing against a vulnerable Walker. Yeah, I agree there. I just want to see us do what we did last night.
Yeah.
And not look at this fella. 115-0.
He's gone on about the 115 charges. I like that. That's very smart, that is.
Redbird, I thought he'd gone. Redbird says, one Madrid fan said, when Gapco scored, corner taken quickly. Another said, Liverpool is cooking under Armstrong. No, that's you, you know, Man United. Why am I saying that? Madrid fans. Madrid. Anyway, Sean, thank you so much for staying.
You're more than welcome, Frank. It's always a pleasure, as you know. And even though you've compared me with Henry VIII,
I think that was it. No, as I said,
I'm only joking.
You know, no, as I said, they always made them portraits look bigger than what they originally were.
Frank, I make jokes of myself all the time. So you are probably never going to offend me. Ever. So I'm not one of these woke you know, if you say I'm going to go to a chippy, the chances are probably
I'm going to chippy, getting something in there. But
yeah.
you know what, though, honestly, do you know the likes of, you know, the way we mess about and, you know, just have a laugh or whatever. And there are some people who can't bloody take it. Now, there's one portrait that you can't even look. It's not like a real portrait. It's a fake portrait. And do you know that's so? Because every artist was told to make this particular person, this female,
Queen
look
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth I.
Yeah.
Now, she was a man. And I'll be talking about things like that tomorrow night, you know, like conspiracy theories. And that's one of the things I'll be talking about. You know, conspiracy theories as well. Some that'll be upsetting and things like that, like Boudica, for example. You know, that's just a conspiracy theory. Oh, that's just about Elizabeth. That's a conspiracy theory. No, it's fucking not.
No,
Anyway,
I think everyone should be open-minded and whatnot. But no, as always, Frank, all of your shows are absolutely amazing. We all need to get Frank to 1,000 subscribers. So get sharing, get liking, get that algorithm up.
Thank you.
I'm making sure if I've actually done the same thing. I think I have.
How many have you got? Can you see how many subscribers there are?
My battery on my phone is just after going there, so I can't. But I think last time I checked, you had 846.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's really good, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Edward says, "Are you on tomorrow?" Yes, conspiracy theories tomorrow. And I want your own conspiracy theories, what you think of them. Callum says, City fans are petrified for Sunday.
I would be if I was a City fan.
If I was any fan and we were playing Liverpool the way we are, Callum, I'd be terrified.
Yeah.
Jay says, I miss Gapco's header. I was cooking a burger. I went to loo. I came on last night, and I said, I missed this goal. And I did, I missed it. Because I was in the loo, and put it this way, I heard the big roar, I rushed, and I was having a pee. It's all over the fucking place.
Well, I'll give you a good one, Frank. I was watching it on a stream, right? And there were people downstairs watching the game, and they were ahead of me. So I could hear them screaming when we scored. So I knew a goal was coming. So it didn't ruin the game, but it was, you know.
So, yeah, when you're behind, it's horrible, that, isn't it?
I hate it, yeah.
Horrible, yeah. Oh, a mate always rang me up, and they were like, a little bit of, oh, God, where I go?
Yeah, I hate it.
Red Bears. I didn't know Henry VIII has a big head. No, he has a little head.
He had a big belly, that's for sure.
Head. Do you know when he died? I'm going to tell you something here.
Yeah.
Right. Do you know when he died? He actually burst.
Yeah.
He burst. Did you know that?
Yeah.
And did you know that he died a Catholic?
I didn't know that.
He died a Catholic, and do you know every king after him?
Yeah.
He died. Like everyone. They all died Catholics.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because they didn't want to go too well.
Well, you might remember a series that was filmed a few years back in Dublin, The Tudors, and Jonathan Rhys-Meyers played Henry VIII.
Oh yeah.
So that was very good. But there you go.
Henry, did you know that he never ever won a battle?
Henry VIII didn't.
No, never won a battle. He was always defeated, even in the Clock of Gold.
He certainly didn't win any domestic battles anyway, did he, with the 8 wives?
Fucking shut at them.
He'll get rid.
Did you know Anne Boleyn had 6 fingers?
Have I lost you?
No, can you see me? Yeah. No, have you lost me? He's frozen. Sean's frozen. Anyway, all right, I'll finish it now. But I was just saying to Sean that Anne Boleyn had 6 fingers, and they were going to try her as a witch. And he said, "Oh no, you better not." Simply because that'll be. Yeah, that's Sean. Oh no.
Don't know what happened there, Frank. Sorry about that.
Well, I was just saying about Anne Boleyn. Did you know that she had 6 fingers?
I didn't.
Well, okay. Now here's what happened. He wanted to get shut of her. Right, obviously.
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, I tell you what, she's got 6 fingers. Why don't we just fucking say that she's a witch?" And he went, "Yeah, all right. Yeah, that's a good idea. Witches."
Mm.
Anyway, someone, I forget who it was, somewhere with that. Big mistake. He said, "Why? If you say that she's a witch, that'll demonize all the line."
Oh, right. I get you.
And he went, "Fuck off, is that true?" True that. So they never tried her as a witch, or chopped their heads off as a witch. It's true that.
Interesting.
One other thing, I forgot to fucking mention it actually. It came to me then. It came to me.
It's not the fantasy football thing, is it?
No. Oh, fuck, yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, boys and girls, if you're still there, if you want to join this fantasy football, Franco Super League, it's not too late to join. Just join it. And we've also got a Champions League fantasy league as well. But if you join this, this is what you can win. Okay, now. This is what you can win. That's what you can win. Perpetual motion. It's a wind up.
That's the Premier League one.
What?
That's the Premier League one.
Did I say that? I did say
I
that.
think you said the Champions League one. The Premier League. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Premier League, right? Right, Premier League one. It's an expensive watch. It's brand new. There's no battery or anything, so it's just a wines one. Just a wines one. There, there's the wines. So you don't have to worry about batteries, perpetual motion. It's an excellent watch. The back of it as well, you can see the works on it. You can see the works. Hope you can see that.
Beautiful.
Right, so that's what you can win. That's for the Premiership. And when I mentioned about the other one, which is the wonderful Champions League, you can win that, which is Mo Salah's autograph on the actual programme 2019 Champions League final when we beat Spurs 2-0. And there you have the first scorer of the game, Mo Salah. That's a proper autograph, not a print, proper autograph. So anyway,
you need to get on UEFA Gaming and put in that code UEFA Gaming. And once you put in that code, once you enter your team in and then put in that code, you are in that league. So it's not too late.
That's not the Premiership, is it?
No, that's the so what you do is you download UEFA Gaming app, okay? Go on to the fantasy football part of that. Log in or make an account, make your team up, okay? And then if you go to join a league and put in that code as you see it.
Okay. So do that, people, and you can win one of those. You could win the fucking ticket as well.
Could win the two.
Okay, so Sean, mille grazie. Thank you so much. So I won't be seeing you now, will I?
You won't be seeing me till probably Tuesday, Frank. I'm out gallivanting tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is a really, really important, or tomorrow's a really important day in Irish history. We have an opportunity to vote out 2 political parties that have been ruling the roost for 100 years. We have a real opportunity for change, and the country needs it. And I hope to Christ that everybody gets up off their arses and vote, because there's no reason not to vote. Just do your homework. Don't go and vote for political parties that your mother and father voted for and their mothers and fathers vote for. Go for the ones that have the right policies or have the right manifesto, and that's it. We need change. We can't have.
No, we do need change. Yeah. We want fucking change in this country. The Starmer, we're on the precipice of a nuclear attack with that fucking arsehole. And it's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. And that's the way it is. These leaders that we've got in Europe are absolutely horrendous. And the ordinary people, like us, just say, get lost. We don't want none of this. We do not want none of this. And yet, we're on the precipice. So, Sean, I'll see you Tuesday.
You will indeed. You will indeed. I'll be in touch anyway.
Okay. Yeah, keep
all right.
it so.
Look after the next, Frank.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Will's at my knee.
Or your knee.
Anyway, and it'll be George. Thanks to George. Thanks to Sean. Thanks mainly to every one of you out there, because without you out there, there'd be no show. There'd be no podcast. Thank you so much, people. And if you want the conspiracy theory, 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Thank you so much. Bye now.
Thank you.
See you, Sean.
See you, Frank. Talk to you soon.
Ci vediamo. Prossimo settimana. Next week.